Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Working on some tech issues here before the show. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. We have got a lot to talk about. This business in California with Newsom is freaking insane. Here we go. It's showtime, people. If you're new here, I obviously love Trump. In case you didn't notice.
1-888 cocaine 1. That's 1-888 cocaine 1. And now.
Welcome, welcome, everyone. 5 minutes after the hour. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. And of course, 2022 is the 45th year of the Steve Kane Show, broadcasting on the radio in the state of Florida. That's right. That's why this is the political show, the MAGA show of record in Florida. That's right. Welcome. Well, we have a lot to talk about on the program today, and man, do we got a lot to talk about. You know, Governor Newsom is on the short list. Governor Newsom of California. The Democrats are in trouble, right? They've got this senile old coot that has been, the media hate the guy now. We'll get into the Time magazine cover later on. Kamala is incompetent. No one likes her. The media's turned on her. I mean, you know, she can't even, Kamala Harris cannot even do a Today Show interview without running into problems. Samantha Guthrie, she had that problem with the other guy a couple weeks ago. And they have a very short list of people to run for president and vice president against President Trump in 2024. And believe it or not, Gavin Newsom, is he the nephew of Nancy Pelosi? Nephew, right? Governor Newsom is on the short list to run for president. I know that sounds insane, but that's how bad it is for the Democrats, which is good for us because, you know, Governor Cuomo was up there. Everything's working. Everything's A-okay. So that's good news. Okay. Farther away? Yeah, okay. All right. We were working out some technical issues before the show. We had a piece of equipment that was not working, and now it's working. And well, I'm not going to tell you what it was, but it would have been interesting if it wasn't working. But anyway, Gavin Newsom is on the short list to be the Democrat nominee for president of the United States. And you know, President Trump handed Joe Biden a perfect country. Everything in the country was perfect, even through the pandemic. Economy, boom. Gas prices low. Economy booming. Yeah, it was amazing. And since Biden took over, the whole country's gone to you know what. One of the biggest problems in this country today, there's many problems. Everything's a problem because of Biden. But one of the biggest problems is crime in some of the big areas, right? California, New York. It used to be just in Chicago. And Democrats put up with that because they don't really care about the poor people in Chicago. But this is hitting LA, this is hitting New York, and it's bad. It's very scary. I was talking yesterday to Steve. Have you seen the photographs out of the subway in New York where people are waiting before they go through the turnstile for the trains to pull up? They're afraid to wait on the other side of the turnstile. They're afraid they'll get murdered on the platform. And Newsom yesterday just said something that was insane. And I'm going to play you the audio. He apologized to violent street gangs on television. And I got to play you the audio because I don't think you would believe me unless I play the audio. But you've got to hear the tone. Now, this is a story from the local news out in California. And they give you some background, but it's about that train robbery. Democrats, Biden has destroyed so much, but he's brought back a business. There's a new business. Well, it's an old business that's been out of business for a long time, and Biden has brought it back. Train robberies are back. When's the last time there was a train robbery in America? Been a long time since Butch and Sundance went to Bolivia. I don't know. How long has it been? There was a train robbery of FedEx packages out in California. And who knows what's in a FedEx package? You never know what you get in a FedEx package. It could be a PS2 game or, It could be something pretty valuable. And Newsom had a press conference. So that's just a little background. This is local news out in California on the train robbery and Newsom's bizarre comments apologizing to violent street gangs. Listen.
As trains are being looted in Los Angeles, it's now getting the attention of the state. Governor Newsom visited a site today that is littered with packages to outline a plan for stopping this crime. The governor was there to lead a major cleanup effort at the Union Pacific Rail Yard, and you could definitely see all the boxes and containers. If a package didn't make it to your door, it might be there. For weeks, thieves have been raiding cargo containers on trains that stop there to unload, and now the state is stepping in.
This is not one-off. This is organized theft. These are organized gangs of people that are coming at it. Forgive me for saying gangs. I know that.
Oh my goodness! Forgive me for saying gangs. Oh man! Now what? Listen to this.
Been raiding cargo containers on trains that stop there to unload, and now the state is stepping in.
This is not one-off. This is organized theft. These are organized gangs of people that are coming at it. Forgive me for saying gangs. I know that's not a pejorative. They're organized groups of folks,
otherwise known as gangs. Oh my goodness! I mean, I've never heard anything like this. Forgive me for saying gangs. These are organized groups of folks. Well, that's what a gang is, right?
Organized theft. These are organized gangs of people that are coming at it. Forgive me for saying gangs. I know that's not a pejorative. They're organized groups of folks that move from site to site. When there's more attention and bright light on one site, they move to the next site. A lot of these folks are arrested as if they're individuals that are not connected to the whole. And we need to change that.
The governor says he's working with law enforcement and the newly formed Retail Task Force to crack down on these crimes.
Okay, the Retail Task Force. Don't call them gangs. Do they have a gang task force at the LAPD and California police departments? Okay. This is unbelievable. He apologizes to violent street gangs. Why do you think that is? I know why. I'm not going to troll for calls. You know, a lot of people on the radio would ask the question that is an obvious answer, at least it's obvious to me, and troll for calls for an hour. Why does he apologize? Why is he apologizing to street gangs? And they take, line one, no. Even if somebody gets it right, they say no so they can get through the hour with a full board of calls with people guessing. Then they got to think. There's a reason why Gavin Newsom apologized to violent street gangs, and here is the reason. The reason Governor Newsom apologized to gangs, violent street gangs, is he believes the word gang means black people. That's true, because like a Democrat, especially an elitist like him, with his skinny pants that he wears all over the place, Governor Skinny Pants, he believes that it is racist to say gangs. Gangs means black people in his mind. The racism of the left, people, that is what it's all about. And, you know, we've seen so many of these gangs going into the stores, this was before Christmas, and raiding them of their high-end purses and everything else. They're under siege in California. They have gangs that are tracking rich people, following rich people home from clubs and restaurants and work, and robbing them in their driveways. Okay? I mean, you know, Lori Loughlin, who the actress from Full House that recently went to prison for academic dishonesty. Her house was just robbed by a gang of thieves. You know, now, that's why he apologized for saying gangs. But there's a bigger problem here. Crime. Now, I'm lucky to be in Ron DeSantis' free Florida. And in Florida, this seems very radical to Democrats around the country. In Florida, you know what they do to criminals? They arrest them and put them in jail. That's why crime is very low in Florida. But there is a larger question here. Why are Democrats catering so much to criminals? Why are they catering to criminals nationwide? Now, that's something I'd like to hear some calls on. at 1-888-GO-CANE1. Now, this is Friday, and we do have open phones on Friday. I don't say Open Phone Friday because that was Rush Limbaugh's thing, and I don't want to steal his Open Phone Friday thing. I need to think of a new term. Friday is open phones so long as you're relevant to the news cycle, okay? You understand what I mean? I don't want to be talking about something that's not relevant to us today in the current news cycle. But it is open phones. This is the one day a week that you can call in about anything and everything you want that is relevant to the news cycle at 1-888-GO-CANE1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Michael. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Now, I'm going to ask you, do you agree or disagree with me that Gavin Newsom apologized for saying gangs because he thinks gangs means black people?
Yes, it could. I think it is that. But also remember this. I want to harken you back to the first year or so of President Trump's first administration, right? First 4 years. And what were they talking about? They were talking about what was going down at the border, and President Trump was talking about what? MS-13, right? And he called them animals.
Yeah. And I remember he said even the federal agents, they said they're like Al-Qaeda. They were like, they were scared of them, yeah.
But what did the Democrats do when he called them animals? He said, these are just guys who just want to come across the border and come in for the American dream. They're nice people, right?
Oh, yes.
In other words, apologizing for all the criminal and animalistic behavior that this animalistic gang was doing. And it is a gang. MS-13 is a gang.
And whoever staged a train robbery, the great train robbery in California of the FedEx packages, that not only is that an organized gang, it is a well-organized gang, and I bet you they've got contacts to let them know what are in those packages on that train, and I'll tell you why. On YouTube, sometimes I watch, I'm like addicted to watching YouTube. If I'm not watching the news, I'm watching YouTube, and one thing I watch on YouTube sometimes are people that buy like pallets from FedEx or Amazon, the packages that weren't delivered, and they'll buy a whole pallet, and it costs a lot of money, and they'll go through it, and most of it's junk, pizza cutters and stupid stuff like that. Rarely do they find something valuable. To do something that's that risky of a crime, a train robbery by a gang, a new train robbery gang, they must be connected enough to know that there was something of value in those particular packages.
Put it this way. Back before the train robberies were in the Old West, what were they robbing? They were robbing stagecoaches because that's how they...
And then they moved on to trains.
On the trains, they moved on to trains and stuff, and so because that's how these companies sent these very, very
Yeah. I know. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. And if you watch the video of Newsom, he was out there. Not only did they rob the place, they left a whole bunch of trash behind. And what really has Californian leaders upset is not the robbery of the train so much, it's that they littered. They littered on the side of the train tracks. They just had piles of trash that they left behind. And I'm not kidding. In fact, in that story, that's in the Gateway Pundit. The audio I just played, they have the video from the local news out there. And what Newsom was doing, he had a trash bag. He was with a group of other people picking up the trash because littering's a bigger crime than actually robbing the train in California. But, hey, listen, Mike in Louisiana, thanks for the call. All right, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Why are liberals so into supporting and defending violent criminals when there's a mass crime wave going on in the liberally controlled parts of America? Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO Kane 1. 888-465-2631. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. We'll take our break and be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Pandemic hit America. Our nation was caught off guard and unprepared. One of the biggest problems was we didn't have enough PPE because everything was made in China. There is a solution to this problem. Small Business Development Group has formed strategic.
Good morning, everyone. Make sure that you like the video.
Associated raw materials right here in the USA. This way, supply chain issues will never be a problem again. This project is U.S. funded, owned, and managed. Best of all, it's without reliance on the foreign supply chain.
Because I was talking. Maybe I just wasn't waiting long enough.
Interested in this investment opportunity?
I don't know. I just happened to look. Because I don't usually check it. It could be like the cleaning crew was in, and they might have wiped it off and hit the button. That's what.
654-6870.
Small Business Development Group is a publicly traded company. Stock symbol SBDG. Online at c2cpic.com. Find strategic manufacturers online at strategicmanufacturers.com.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the Biostation West Delray. At Biostation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience.
Rich. He's in the control room. The radio station's on the other side of the building.
We offer a full array of age management modalities.
And Rich, he was actually Steve's. He ran the board for Steve before I worked for Steve, back like in 1990, 91 at another radio station.
We offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, welcome back. 22 minutes after the hour. I am Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. In hormone replacement pellet therapy, I was thinking about Dr. Matez. I was watching the news yesterday afternoon, and I saw that meltdown that Kamala Harris had with Savannah Guthrie over at the Today Show. Did you see that? You know, one of things that, hormone replacement pellet therapy is all natural, by the way. And, part of the aging process is your body produces fewer of the hormones that you need. And you have all kinds of problems. And you hear me often talk about the great benefits of hormone replacement pellet therapy in men, because I'm a man. In women, hormone replacement pellet therapy completely and 100% stops and reverses all of the signs and symptoms of menopause. Kamala Harris yesterday, in her snippy little catfight with Savannah Guthrie, that's a menopausal mood swing. Yeah, that's what that's about. And hormone replacement pellet therapy in women, mood swings, gone. Night sweats, gone. Vaginal dryness, gone and reversed. And whatever other signs and symptoms you have of menopause, stopped and reversed 100% with hormone replacement pellet therapy. And, I believe that the number one cause of divorce is menopause. I really do believe that. A lot of people get divorced in their 40s when women start to get menopausal because of the mood swings. Ladies, no matter where you are, by the way, if you're out of town or out of state, you can call Dr. Mitch Matez at the Bio Station for a free consultation, too. He may be able to help you even out of state. But give Dr. Mitch Matez at the Bio Station a call. And you men, you can call for your ladies, too. I know, menopause, you think it's bad. Women, you think menopause is bad for you? Talk to your husband. He's probably afraid to tell you, all right, because he doesn't want one of those mood swings. But here's Dr. Matez's number, 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893. That's Dr. Mitch Matez. Free consultation if you tell them you heard them on the radio at the Bio Station. 561-320-8893. All right, so Democrats are just having all kinds of problems. Now Sinema, did you see what happened with Sinema yesterday with Bill Clinton's Labor Secretary, Robert Reich? Robert Reich, he's a real piece of work, this guy. Oh, my goodness. Well, let me read you the story. This is from Fox News. Former Democratic Labor Secretary Robert Reich was ridiculed on Thursday, okay, and he went to Twitter. Let me find the original tweet. Where's the original tweet? I've got the original tweet here. Hold on. I might just have to tell it to you from memory because I can't pull up the article. Let me see if I have the article. I'll read you the article if I find it. If not, oh, here it is. From the Post-Millennial, which is a great conservative website. The postmillennial.com is a conservative MAGA news website out of Canada. They got all the great news in America that's going on, not just Canada. Okay, here it is. In a now deleted tweet following a vote blocking changes to the filibuster rule in the Senate, Bill Clinton's Secretary of Labor, Robert Reich, who's a regular pundit with the liberals, called for violence against Democrat Senator Kyrsten Sinema. Of course, Senator Sinema is a Democrat. She's the senator from Arizona that voted against the rule change alongside Joe Manchin. In the deleted tweet, Democrat, liberal, Bill Clinton's labor secretary, Robert Reich, tweeted this, and I quote, "Tonight, Republican senators lined up to shake Kyrsten Sinema's hand. Democratic senators should have given her the backs of their hands." Unquote. That's the tweet. The back of the hand is a slap. Democrat Robert Reich said that senators, male or female, should line up and slap Senator Sinema with the back of their hand. And by the way, the back of the hand slap, on top of it just being advocating for violence against a sitting United States senator, which is a crime, if you did that on Twitter, you'd get a knock on the door in the middle of the night and hauled in for questioning. I mean those of you listening to my voice. So that's one thing. I mean, he was advocating for group violence. In fact, how many Democrats are there in the Senate? What's the exact number? Is it 50? Is it 49? What's the exact number they got? Is it 50 or 49? I think it was at 50. You let me know. But he was advocating group violence against a sitting United States senator. That's one. 50. So he wanted 48 senators, because Manchin was with her. He wanted 48 senators to line up, like in that scene in Airplane with the hysterical woman, and give Senator Sinema the back of their hand. So one, that's advocating violence against a federal official. That's illegal. That's a crime. On top of just being wrong and immoral. But then you take it into the liberal Me Too world. That's also promoting violence against women. Hardcore group violence against a woman. And it's also a sexist way. The back of the hand is an exclusive. That's back in the days of the honeymooners. To the moon, Alice. The back of the hand is back in the Mad Men days on how men, back in that era, kept their wives under control. You better, hey, dinner's not ready. Well, hey, get the dinner ready. So it's sexist, it's violent, it's political violence. Could you imagine if any Republican, if Sean Hannity had tweeted such a thing with the exact same wording of Robert Reich, what would be happening today? The National Organization for Women and all these other organizations would be lining up to condemn him. And you know, if Hannity tweeted something like that, that's a big deal. What Robert Reich tweeted there, Bill Clinton's Secretary of Labor, who's isn't he the president of some leftist university somewhere now? At least he used to be. Fake job. He's the only man in Washington who's actually shorter than Fauci. He's a very tiny guy. He's, very tiny. I don't know if he qualifies as a dwarf, but he's like borderline. I'm not kidding or making fun. It's true. You're going to see him a lot in the news today. Rarely will you see a photograph of Robert Reich with like another person because they don't want to show how little he is. But, violence against women, violence against a federal... See, that's the left. They say we're the violent ones. They are the violent ones. Always are. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That is our number, toll free, 1-888-465-2631. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Richie, good morning.
Oh, yeah, was it the Ralph Cramden, who was a bus driver, honeymooners reference that got you to call in?
Yeah, to the moon, Alan.
Yeah, see that, yeah. Richie became a bus driver because of Ralph Cramden, I believe.
I want to become Ed Norton, that's for sure.
I think, well, actually, it was between him and the bus driver who called the police on Rosa Parks, I think, was your two role models, right?
Absolutely. Hey, listen, I got to tell you this. First of all, Dan Ball is from Ohio. That's number one, your state.
Hey, Ohio, 10 U.S. presidents are from Ohio. You know who else is from Ohio? Neil Armstrong from Ohio. There's Ohio. A lot of greatness comes from Ohio, not just me.
Yeah, I know that. And here's the other thing. President Trump was on Hannity last night, and Hannity, towards the end, the last question was about DeSantis, and he says, Ron and I are great friends, and this is such fake news, and we get along great, and he said the guy is doing a great job in Florida. Yeah,
that was going to be my next segment, but we'll talk about it now. That's okay. Yeah, it was total fake news. Yeah.
How devious that CBS in Palm Beach, I spent the first 5 minutes of a newscast talking about crap that's not true. These people in the media are disgusting, and they're the cause of this problem in this country.
Well, let me tell you something. I didn't watch the local news coverage about this. Are you telling me that the local news affiliates in Palm Beach County were running this filth? Those are the news stations of Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, Channel 12, Palm Beach.
See, now this is an interesting thing, okay? Because I get the same TV stations that President Trump gets at Mar-a-Lago, and the local news. See, the local news stations. That's the NBC affiliate. That tells me they're so. Our CBS, yeah, they're so desperate to try to cause a rift between our great President Donald Trump and our perfect Governor Ron DeSantis. They're running the story on the local news just in the hopes that President Trump will see it watching the local CBS affiliate at Mar-a-Lago. These people.
Now, I got to tell you about your opens up with Newsom and crime, and he's afraid to say gangs.
Well, he apologized. He apologized for disparaging gangs by using gangs and describing the train robbers.
See, I have a different take on it than you. I have a take on it like this, okay? If you have a dog that people see it in the street like a pit bull, it's got a muzzle on it, and it's looking at everyone and just growls and wants to bite the hell out of everybody. You walk them around, and people say, why would somebody like that want to have a dog like that? And you have these gangs that are actually supporters of the Democratic Party, and when the Democratic Party need to sig them on the population of this country, that's exactly what they do.
Now, you give him too much credit. See, Gavin Newsom is your standard, typical, white, privileged, snowflake, skinny pants wearing Democrat racist. And what I said about that was he thinks gangs means black people. And he's afraid that if he says something negative about gangs, who, by the way, are just having a field day with crime in California, that it'll alienate black voters because gangs are all black, and in his mind, and black people support criminals. That's what he thinks. That's where his mind is at.
Well, absolutely, and if you take a look, when they're coming out of the stores, you got people saying it's reparations.
Mm-hmm.
It should happen to them.
Yeah.
The the whole country is living. We're actually living in fear. I mean, the police are reactionary to these gangs. The gangs control the streets, and nobody wants to admit it. All major cities in this country are controlled by the gangs. They're not controlled by the average.
Yeah, I mean, that's why. I mean, I tell you the truth, and you and I have talked about this. This is why I won't go to South Beach in Miami. South Beach used to be a beautiful place, and it's been taken over by gangs and wannabe gangsters.
Exactly, and it's become a shooting zone. So you with one of these cars. I mean, so the bottom line is this: the United States, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, they don't give a damn what it is. The crime to them is advantageous. Just like the virus, they use the virus to lock everybody in their houses and control everybody. The gangs control us just like the virus. They do. I mean, and in New York City,
well, not. I'll tell you what they keep us from doing is going to New York City. You know, I wanted to take my daughter to New York, you know, for her birthday, and I told her there's no way we're going to New York City. There's no way. I don't know the city well enough to stay safe and know where to go and not to go. It doesn't seem that way.
In all due respect, I'm a YouTube freak myself, and I decided, let me go back to when I left New York, when I was a kid growing up. New York in the 50s and 60s, nostalgia, okay? And they showed the crowds of people on the street, the wall of people. You know, it's a ghost town now.
Post-pandemic, in fact, there's one guy on YouTube, I can't remember the name of his YouTube channel, and all he does is he live streams walking the streets of New York City. And
He's an Asian action kid.
Yeah, that might be it. I can't remember. I don't know the name of the channel, and I watch it all the time. And it was one thing during the lockdowns and everything, the streets were empty, but the streets are ghost towns, day and night throughout the city. People are afraid. All right, Richie, I got to run for a break. I'm late. If you're on hold, stand by. 37 minutes after the hour. We'll be back with your calls after this break. Don't go anywhere. On the line from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca. Steve Kane Show. William Youngerman, good morning. Hey,
good morning, Ryan. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How the medals looking today?
Be right back, guys. Medals looking great.
Now, I wanted to ask you about a couple things. Now, listeners call and ask me questions. I know nothing. Call William Youngerman. They've got all the answers on these things. But there's two things I want to ask you about. I've heard from people. One, pre-33 gold. Do you deal in pre-33 gold?
Absolutely. We've made a market in pre-1933 gold since 1969 or 67 actually, and that's one of our specialties. We do deal a lot in the old U.S. $20 gold pieces, $10, $5, and as well as world gold coins from prior to 1933. And we make a very fair market. In fact, we had somebody come in and get a quote on our prices, and they were amazingly. We were over $500 per ounce cheaper than what some of the marketers are selling pre-33 gold for. So that was an eye-opener for us.
Wow.
These TV ads, you see, they're charging huge markups on pre-1933 gold, and there's absolutely no reason to pay that kind of premiums. We have it in stock for media delivery at very reasonable and wholesale prices for our Steve Kane listeners.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that only are like exclusive pre-33 gold. That's amazing. $500 less. Yeah, but I'm sure the TV guy are limiting it to 5 coins per call at this point. Now listen, William Youngerman, the number 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. The address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. All right, that's it. All right, take care. Take care.
The Steve Kane Show.
Hey guys, you guys should follow Chaplain Jethro's Corner. He's in the chat room there on Facebook. He's got a great Facebook group where he does, Jethro, I'll let you describe. Is it a sermon? It's a Christian experience. I watch it most nights.
FLA 3782. Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All righty, 20 minutes before the top of the hour. That was our bottom of the hour break. We are late on our break schedule. My name's Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number, toll free, 1-888-GO-KANE1. You're on the radio. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Jim from North Carolina.
Hey, Jim. What's up?
Hey, one thing about this train robbery. I watched this YouTube guy. It's called called German in Venice. He goes around checking on the homeless people being removed and all that good stuff. But on that particular train, that length of train, which is quite long, I noticed all the news outlets are failing to mention that that train was totally derailed for a couple of days, which gave more advantages for homeless and the gang.
How did they? Was it derailed on its own through an accident? It wasn't the rob. It was it robbed because it was derailed? What's the details?
Probably it was. I don't. They don't. They just say. They just say it was derailed. He showed pictures showing exactly the train. It was off the tracks and it sat there for a couple of days, and that's where they took more advantage. I'm sure they robbed.
Well, the thing with the homeless, in Florida, we in the past, the county, I live in the same county as Mar-a-Lago, President Trump's county, Palm Beach, and Palm Beach is run by Democrats, even though that's where President Trump lives. It's run by Democrats. In fact, I think that might have been one of the reasons he ran for president. For many years, President Trump was trying to build a helicopter pad at Mar-a-Lago, and the Democrats in town wouldn't let him. And when he became president, the Secret Service just did it. So now he's got one there. The Democrats couldn't stop that one. But anyway, we had a big panhandling homeless problem in Palm Beach County, and I would go home, and at all four corners of the intersections, there'd be a work for food guy. And we passed an ordinance outlawing panhandling, and it passed, thankfully. But I'll tell you, Democrats were such advocates for the homeless and the panhandlers, I couldn't believe.
Well, what I'm saying is that train wasn't derailed because of an accident. It was, I don't know what happened, but the train derailed. That whole length of the train was off the tracks, and that gave them more advantage to steal. But I'm saying nobody's bringing this up. They're just calling it.
Well, you don't know if it was derailed through a train accident or by the robbers.
It was derailed. The fact that it was standing still for a couple of...
Well, I know it was derailed, but was it derailed by the train robbers, or was it derailed through just a regular train accident?
A regular train misfucked.
Oh, okay, so they took advantage of the accident. So they looted an accident scene as well. What lowlives? That's even worse.
This guy he's called German in Venice. He goes down there right on the track, showing the cars off the track.
I'll check it out.
Right. Yeah, German in Venice.
I heard you. You must be him. You're giving him so much publicity. Promos cost money on this show, okay? We gave you a little shout out there, but after 5 times, we got to move on. All right, our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's the number 888-465-2631. Toll-free call from anywhere. Yeah, let me just play the clip right now. I played it right at the top, but for people that are just waking up and turning on their radios. So there was this train robbery in California, and California Governor Gavin Newsom gave a press conference at the site of the train robbery. And it gets very bizarre. He referred to the train robbers as a gang of robbers, and he immediately apologizes to violent street gangs and chooses another word.
As trains are being looted in Los Angeles, it's now getting the attention of the state. Governor Newsom visited a site today that is littered with packages to outline a plan for stopping this crime. The governor was there to lead a major cleanup effort at the Union Pacific rail yard, and you could definitely see all the boxes and containers. If a package didn't make it to your door, it might be there. For weeks, thieves have been raiding cargo containers on trains that stop there to unload, and now the state is stepping in.
This is not one-off. This is organized theft. These are organized gangs of people that are coming out, and forgive me for saying gangs. I know that...
Forgive me for saying gangs. Oh, my goodness.
This is organized theft. These are organized gangs of people that are coming out, and forgive me for saying gangs. I know that's not a pejorative. They're organized groups of folks.
So instead of saying gangs, he gives you the Webster's Dictionary definition of gangs without saying the word. Oh my goodness, we're in trouble. You Democrats in these Democrat parts of the country, you are in trouble. All right, we're going to take our last break of the first hour on time. My name's Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back after this break. Don't go anywhere.
With someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did. tested, and she went to any lab test now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to any lab test now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to any lab test now of Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
When the pandemic hit America, our nation was caught off guard and unprepared. One of the biggest problems was we didn't have enough PPE because everything was made in China. There is a solution to this problem. Small Business Development Group has formed strategic manufacturers to produce medical exam gloves and associated raw materials right here in the USA. This way, supply chain issues will never be a problem again. This project is U.S. funded, owned, and managed. Best of all, it's without reliance on the foreign supply chain. Investing in this critical infrastructure is important to the safety and defense of America. Now, here's where you come in. If you're an entrepreneur, venture capitalist, or high net worth individual interested in this investment opportunity, contact Small Business Development Group at 919 area code 654-6870. 919 area code 654-6870. Learn more about this incredible opportunity. 919-654-6870.
Small Business Development Group is a publicly traded company. Stock symbol SBDG. Online at c2cpic.com. Find strategic manufacturers online at strategicmanufacturers.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
Oh man, Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca Raton will never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle does not need. You've heard me tell the story with Steve's son. Steve's son took his car to have it looked over bumper to bumper from one of the other big name garages around town. They gave him a printout and said, these are the repairs, this is the maintenance your car needs. Then Steve's son took his car to Champagne Automotive Repair, didn't tell them what the first place said, had them look over it bumper to bumper. They told him what the car really needed. And then we gave the list to the mechanics at Champagne Automotive Repair from the first place, and they went through it for us and told us that the first place, a bunch of scammers, told Steve's son that he needed $843.12 in repairs and maintenance that the car did not need. You know, when you go to these other shops, you're dealing with a salesman. His job is to get you to max out your credit card, basically. Get every repair, all the maintenance that you'll pay for. And at Champagne Automotive Repair, they will never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle does not. They work on older classic vehicles. I saw a Chevelle in there a couple weeks ago. It was a beautiful Chevelle. Oh, man. Yeah, and they work on new vehicles as well. They do work on commercial vehicles. Whatever you got, give them a call. And here's the number, 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Make sure you tell them you heard them on the Steve Kane Show. 561-245-8101. All right, there's a lot of psych ops going on with what Carrie Lake introduced me to this term. I don't know if she coined it, but I like it, the Uniparty, the Republican and Democrat Party establishment. And there's no doubt about it. MAGA, we don't like Mitch McConnell. He's a snake. He's like Paul Ryan. There's many others too, but he's a real bad guy, right? Mitch McConnell. And they know, the Uniparty knows that the majority of Republican voters don't trust Mitch McConnell, can't stand Mitch McConnell, and want nothing to do with Mitch McConnell. But he plays ball with the CCP and with the Democrats and everything else, right? So we know this. We know this. So the psych ops, they're trying, the Uniparty, the Republican Democrat Party establishment, they are attempting to resurrect support from MAGA for Mitch McConnell. And what they're doing, you have to be a specialist in psych ops to pick up on this. I want to play it for you. And I think I'm probably the first person that will have pointed this out to you. This is a clip of Mitch McConnell yesterday, and they're alleging that he's a racist. He is saying that black people are not Americans, is what the press are reporting this morning. Listen, here's Mitch McConnell.
What's your message for voters of color who are concerned that...
What is your message for voters of color? He's asked by a reporter. Voters of color. What a strange thing for it. He means black people.
What's your message for voters of color who are concerned that without the John L. Lewis Voting Rights Act, they're not going to be able to vote in the midterm?
Well, the concern is misplaced because if you look at the statistics, African American voters are voting in just as high a percentage as Americans.
Okay, he said blacks vote just as much as Americans vote. And obviously, black Americans are Americans, and we're all Americans, right? This is how much of a panic the Democrat-Republican establishment are about the MAGA voters not supporting their lowlife Mitch McConnell and his co-conspirators against Trump. Okay? The problem they have with us, okay, is they don't know who we are. They don't understand us. They think they do. They don't understand Trump. They don't get MAGA. And they think that we're a bunch of white supremacist racists, which is absurd. We're none of those things, but they think we are. They believe their own rhetoric. So what the Uniparty is doing, the Republican Democrat establishment, what they're doing to try to resurrect Mitch McConnell's support among MAGA is portray him as a racist. And they say to themselves, well, you know, if he says blacks aren't Americans, those racist MAGA people, they'll run and support him. It's psych ops, and it's very high level in its scheme, but it's also just ridiculous. But that's how they think.
For voters of color who are concerned that without the John L. Lewis Voting Rights Act, they're not going to be able to vote in the midterm.
Well, the concern is misplaced because if you look at the statistics, African American voters are voting in just as high a percentage as Americans.
Okay, yeah. So that's what that's all about. They figure, oh yeah, MAGA will love Mitch McConnell if we portray him as a racist, because they're racist, they'll come out, they'll relate to him, they'll circle the wagons, defend him, and support him because MAGA's racist. These people. This may be a sophisticated psych ops attempt at propaganda, but it shows how stupid President Trump and desperate President Trump's opposition are. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Barry Siegel.
Oh, hey, caught us early today. Attorney Barry Siegel on the way to the law office early.
Well, really on the way to the airport.
Oh, okay. Remember that lawyer, there's always a light on, in David Singer's office?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember those commercials?
He's friends with Steve Kane, and I've run into him a few times with Steve, and he says people still come up to him about that light on in his office, still today. So anyway, what do you have for us today, Attorney Barry Siegel?
Well, today I was going to talk about, there are many reasons why it's important to do estate planning and planning for it, not just end-of-life issues, but disability and plans for long-term care. And, some of those reasons may be, to take care of our family, the people we love, protecting our assets, making sure we have peace of mind. But one of those reasons can just boil down to money and saving money. And doing this can save you money in many ways, but two ways. But number one, by setting up a revocable living trust, funding your trust, your family avoids having to deal with a probate process, which even if it didn't cost you any money, it's not worth going through anyway. But it does cost a lot of money, and it could end up costing your money thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. So right there, it saves you money by spending a little to save a lot. But also, for anybody who doesn't have long-term care insurance or doesn't have enough long-term care insurance, for the cost of, typically the cost of less than 1 month of a nursing home, you can stop the financial bleeding. So instead of having to pay for care month after month, either in a nursing home, assisted living, or even home care, which could be very expensive, again, you can stop that financial bleeding and not have to pay that, not spend down your assets, and not go broke or leave your spouse with no money. So planning can save you money, help protect your assets, help protect your family, and give you peace of mind.
That's right. And, another thing that the Revocable Living Trust protects your heirs from are lawsuits. Hit a truck, they hit a school bus, next thing you know, they're sued, they've got money, and it's all gone. And there's all kinds of benefits to a Revocable Living Trust, and there's many, endless examples of negative consequences your heirs can run into if you don't have one. But you know what? Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group have taken all of those eventualities in consideration. So give them a call. It's a completely free consultation with the Siegel Law Group when you mention you heard them on the radio. The number 855-FLA-3782, agroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, have a safe flight. Don't forget your mask when you fly. All right, take care. All right, take care. Have a great weekend. Yeah, did you see that story about the flight out of Miami? Was it Miami to the UK, and they had to turn around an hour into the flight because one of the passengers refused to wear a mask? Oh my goodness. They should have maskless and masked flights, right? Like, remember there used to be smoking and non-smoking sections? I don't know, because things get crazy out there these days. Oh, Meatloaf died, and who does not love Meatloaf? Everybody loves Meatloaf, and I became a fan of Meatloaf from Rocky Horror Picture Show. He was in Rocky Horror Picture Show, and when I was younger, I used to go to watch the movie all the time with the live performance in front, and used to do the whole thing. I used to know every little thing you were supposed to do during Rocky Horror Picture Show, and there would always be one guy who would ride in the theater with on a motorcycle. They used to do it in Fort Lauderdale at the Cinema and Draft House in the public shopping center on 17th Street Causeway, right before the Intercoastal. I used to go there and watch that like you wouldn't believe, Rocky Horror Picture Show. But Meatloaf is just a great guy. If you ever watch any interviews with Meatloaf, he was very cool. And he had one, so I'll ask you guys this, okay? In the early 90s, Meatloaf had a big comeback with Bat Outta Hell 2. Remember that album, Bat Outta Hell 2? And there was that one song, and this was I am not going to sing, because I don't want people to turn off their radios. But there was and Bat Outta Hell 2 on that album, there was I think it was the biggest single off that album, I'll Do Anything for Love. Remember that? I Will Do Anything for Love. And the lyric of that song was from Meatloaf. Remember this? I will do anything for love, but I won't do that. Does anyone know what that was? What was Meatloaf talking about? I will do anything for love, but I won't do that. No, no, no. But I won't do that. And I used to always wonder, what was it that he will not do for love? Meatloaf. Does anyone know? I'm serious about that. Give me a call at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That song was on the radio every other song for quite a while. I will do anything for love, but I won't do that. No, 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 but I won't do that. It's hard to say it without singing, but there's no way in hell I'm singing on the radio. So let me know if you know what that was. What is the one thing that Meatloaf would not do for love? I have no idea what it is. So if you know, I've always wondered about that. And every time the song comes on, I always say, what is he talking about? 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. 1 hour down, 2 to go. We'll be back right after this.
Covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Well, we're entering the third year of COVID. It hit the country hard. Hit the country hard for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons that we were hit the hardest is we weren't prepared when it came to PPE, because everything was manufactured in China. On the line, we have former Congressman David Emery. He's now CEO of Strategic Manufacturers, a subsidiary of SBDG. Manufacturing.
Get married?
Here to the United States. David Emery, what's the big deal?
I don't know.
Nitro gloves?
I don't know. I'll pull up the lyrics. Let me see if I can pull up the lyrics.
People say you can't make anything in the United States anymore. It's too expensive. It costs too much. We don't have the materials here. How are you going to bring production of PPE to the United States?
Well, the reason we can't is because we haven't. We gave it up. It was a policy for 3 or 4 decades that we'd build all the fancy stuff here and all the average stuff we'd be import. And now we're paying the price for it. We certainly can build things here. We have the skills, but we have to have the willpower to do so. And that is the central focus of SMI. Bring manufacturing back to the United States. Through our analysis and our due diligence, we believe this is not only profitable, but will lead the way for other companies in the future to continue the trend to remove dependence on foreign resources for critical materials.
Now, people who are in the listening audience who want to participate, who want to help make us independent when it comes to PPE, how can they participate?
Well, go to our website, sbdgstock.com, and you'll find additional information. Investment opportunities are available for accredited investors. And if you're an accredited investor, you'll know what that means. But it's really critical for American citizens, government, policymakers, business and industry, labor, to get behind this effort to bring manufacturing of strategic materials, critical materials, back to the United States. And that is what SMI is all about.
To learn more about Strategic Manufacturers or to get information on becoming an investor, call 919-654-6870. 919-654-6870. Online, strategicmanufacturers.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Call the show toll-free. Dial 1-888-COCAINE-1. That's 1-888-COCAINE-1. And now, here's...
All right, welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun. 4 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. No one knows the one thing that Meatloaf would not do for love. We're trying to figure that out, and then we'll have the whole world solved. All right, well, all our problems will be solved. You know, I was talking about YouTube earlier. There's a YouTuber that I'm a big fan of that you guys probably never heard of. His name is Justin Scarred, and I met him once at Epcot Center up in Orlando, and he lives in California, and I was watching one of his videos this morning. He was filling his car up, and he showed the gas pump in California. $4.74 a gallon for regular unleaded. I was like, are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, I wouldn't drive. But that's really what they want you to do, right? They want you to stop driving. I would be bicycling it a lot. Ooh, $4.75 a gallon? Well, $4.74 and 9/10 cents. I'm rounding up. You know. All right, well, this is, of course, being Friday, the most important Steve Kane Show of the week, because this is not just our live morning edition of the Steve Kane Show this Friday morning. This is our overnight rebroadcast for the entire weekend. And the Steve Kane Show, of course, is on the air 7 nights a week, midnight till 6 a.m., not just live from 6 till 9. And that's all weekend long. And just on our radio stations, the Friday edition of the Steve Kane Show airs a total of 35 times. That's right, before we return live to you Monday morning at 6 a.m. So we always want to make sure that the Friday show is the best. So welcome, hour number 2 has begun. I'll take a call or two before I bring up some new topics. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And also being Friday, it is open phones on Friday, so long as you are relevant to the news cycle. Okay? Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. How are you doing?
Oh, hey, Wisconsin Gary.
You know, Brian, you touched on well, first off, I'll touch the Meatloaf. If you think of the Meatloaf song, the only part, and I won't sing because I'll probably ring your ears out, but the part of the song there where she sings, she said about screwing around. So that's about the only thing that I can...
Yeah, the lady singer says screwing around, yeah. Well, so if people that are just tuning in, we've got a mystery here that I've been trying to solve since like 93 or 4, however, whenever Bat Out of Hell 2 came out. In his hit song, I Will Do Anything for Love, the lyric is from Meatloaf, who just died yesterday. They have not announced why. But he says, I will do anything for love, but I won't do that. No, 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 I won't do that. And I've always wondered what the one thing Meatloaf would not do for love. You say cheat. Okay.
So, since I kind of got that, but the other thing is you were touching on about with these rail yards that are getting stolen. You know, I seen a TikTok, I guess, that was where it was happening in Chicago too. Now, for our regulations, either by truck, ocean, or rail, anything that is hauled via cross-state line is called interstate commerce. Where are the federal government coming in and stepping in on these people that are robbing these trains, wherever else they might be in Chicago, California? You know, it's like the federal government's not even there. So,
yeah, that's a good point. And you know, and that story, and I wasn't kidding about this, that story where I got the clip of Gavin Newsom apologizing for using the word gangs, he was part of a cleanup effort, cleaning up all the packages and trash that was left behind. That story was about like litter, not even the crime so much. It's very strange.
I think Gavin Newsom, instead of being in skinny pants, he should be in a skinny skirt.
Yes.
How he's acting with California, in my opinion.
You know, so this is interesting. So I'm learning. I did not know this. So the train robbery, an old business that is dried up, that is backed by. Hey, it's a business that has been built back by Biden. Train robberies. So the train robberies in California, you're saying this is happening in other parts of the country. This is new to me. I did not know that.
Yes, there was one that I seen on TikTok in Chicago area where they were actually robbing the containers. Now, like I said, if these containers are coming from another country, like let's say most of the stuff is coming from China, and it's already in the U.S. and it already crossed how many state lines already? That already is interstate.
Well, any type of train crime is federal like this, as far as I know. Yeah.
Train, truck, ocean, or whatever, or by air is interstate commerce.
Yeah.
Like if you're waiting for product coming from out of Germany, like let's say a good setup, a Golden Mike, let's say you ordered from Germany, and somebody robs that, that's a federal crime, regardless of how you ever look at it.
Well, but the thing in California with the trains, the robbers didn't derail the train, did they, or did they just take advantage of a train accident?
I would not know, Brian, but I mean, it's not really that hard to kind of derail a train if you stick, let's say somebody's there and the train's going slow enough. I mean, if you can get a piece underneath that rail, I mean, it's not really that hard to derail a train, because I've actually heard of a lot of people that...
Really?
Yeah, it's not that hard to derail a train. All you got.
Well, then we don't need to tell people how to do it on the radio, okay? Okay.
I'm going to do that, but I'm just saying it's possible.
I'll do anything for a show, but I won't do that. Yes.
Right.
Okay, take care, Wisconsin, Gary. Hey, anybody out there, when I was a kid, and I did this with my daughter when she was little, put, like quarters on the train track? Any of you guys ever do that? All right, let's go back to the phones. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, it's John.
Hey, John.
Hey, just one thing on Meatloaf song. It's you got it all wrong. It's I will do anything for love, but I won't vote Democrat. No.
Oh. You know, Meatloaf. My recollection of this is that Meatloaf. That's pretty funny. I like that. That should be a good parody song. Meatloaf was on the Celebrity Apprentice with Donald Trump, and I know he's been on Huckabee's show, so I'm assuming Meatloaf was MAGA.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, I like that. I'll do anything for love, but I won't vote Democrat. Oh, okay. Interesting. I don't know if that's what he was talking about, but you never know, artist. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Justin from Huntington Beach, currently in Melbourne. Is it I will never lie to you, and that's the fact?
Oh, that sounds like it might, yeah, it rhymes. It rhymes. Well, he does go through my recollection is he goes through a list. Hold on, let me pull up the lyrics. I was just Googling the lyrics during the break, but
But I'm trying to find anything else. I didn't realize it was so long. I'm reading the whole thing, but
oh my goodness, I'm going through the lyrics. I can't go through these lyrics. This is the longest song in history.
I can't believe it. It's like American Pie or something.
I mean, how did he memorize these lyrics?
Well, at the top, it starts, and I would do anything for love. I'd run right to hell and back. I would do anything for love. I'll never lie to you, and that's the fact.
I would do anything for love, anything you've been dreaming of, but I just won't do that. I mean, I don't know. It's very vague.
I can't find anything else. It's just that first paragraph. Just check the first paragraph, and I'll never lie to you.
Well, it's one of those questions that we'll never get an answer for. Maybe, I don't know.
Politicians, they lie to you all the time.
Yeah, I know. It's one of the mysteries of the universe. Hey, take care. Thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. It's John in Wellington.
Hey, John.
On my walk right now, there's a lot of traffic, so I'm going to make this as short as I can so your listeners don't have to hear the cars and trucks passing by. It's sad about Meatloaf. I'm sorry to see him pass. He got me through a lot of hardships back in the 70s and 80s.
Really? How did Meatloaf get you through hardships?
Oh, listening to his music after breakups, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
He was wonderful. As far as the song goes, I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, in the video, he was a vampire, and he was in love with a woman that was alive, and she wanted to join him in the underworld, let's say, and he wouldn't kill her to turn her into a vampire.
Well, the problem with that is if you try to take videos from the 80s and early 90s and try to make sense of them, that none of them make sense. What was the video with the horse? The horse that was running with the curtains around? I thought the vampire aspect was from Rocky Horror Picture Show, like a throwback shout out to, I don't know. So he won't kill her. Okay, appreciate John in Wellington. See, I have stumbled upon one of the great mysteries of the universe. The one thing Meatloaf will not do for love. Oh my goodness. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. I pulled up the lyrics, and these are some of the longest. I'm just going to read the beginning. If I go on to this, Steve will kill me if I go on to this, because I bet you Steve's probably not a Meatloaf. He is a Meatloaf fan because Steve loves Rocky Horror Picture Show. So what I was asking was, in his hit song, which was 93 or 4, I don't remember which year, Meatloaf and Bat Out of Hell 2, the big song on that album was I'd Do Anything for Love. And the lyric I remember goes, it's hard to say this without singing, but I don't want to embarrass myself. I'd do anything for love, but I won't do that. No, 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 but I won't do that. So I'm trying to find out what the that is. So let me read the beginning, okay? And here's the beginning of the lyrics. And I would do anything for love. I'd run right into hell and back. I would do anything for love. I'll never lie to you, and that's a fact. But I'll never forget the way you feel right now. Oh, no, no way. And I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. No, I won't do that. So I guess it's lie to you. Is it lie to you? Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Jeff from the Rand.
Hey, Jeff.
Love that Meatloaf, too. Rest in peace, buddy. But also in that movie with Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson where he whispers in her ear, nobody has been able to determine what that was.
Oh, is that in a movie? Really? What movie is that? Oh, you're talking. Is that
the name?
Lost in Translation?
Yes. Yes.
Meatloaf's in Lost in Translation?
Yeah, he whispers at the very end in her ear when they're separating. And there's been all kinds of skepticism on what, you know.
Well, I got to tell you, I think Meatloaf would be honored by this program today because I don't think, a lot of people are going to talk about Meatloaf today, but I don't think anyone is going to ask this question that I've come up with. But this is something, I remember when the song was a hit and I was in the car with my friends listening to it, I would say to them, what is that? What the hell is he talking about? Yeah. All right.
So that was the era. That was a great time.
You were in high school? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. In 1993?
MacArthur Mustang.
Oh, MacArthur Mustangs. Okay. Isn't that where? Who went to MacArthur High School? Somebody famous went there.
Miramar was, Johnny Depp. MacArthur. Let me think. Athlete.
I may be thinking about Johnny Depp. Yeah, the other school. All right. Take care. Thanks for the call. All right. Steve's going to kill me. But nobody knows, so that's interesting. So even Meatloaf says nobody will ever figure it out. He will take it to the grave with him. All right, let's take our break. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug. Perfect. Right before break, I can keep it short.
I happen to know Meatloaf.
Oh, shocking. You happen to know Meatloaf? Were you talking to him the other day?
No, a long time ago, my manager and his manager, Bob Ellis.
Your manager and his manager were friends, so you knew Meatloaf.
I went to his house one day. He was not very friendly.
Are you? Did you? Maybe I misheard you. Did you say that you knew Meatloaf or you've eaten Meatloaf? What did you say?
I went to Meatloaf's house. My manager, Bob Ellis, was the same manager he had.
When did you go to Meatloaf's house?
Oh man, in the 80s.
Oh really? So you went to his house when he was a big superstar.
Yeah, he's a star. But he came out, a strange guy, man. He came out, said hello, and then went back into his bedroom, and I just had a meeting with his manager.
Okay.
Not very friendly guy, but he said hello at least, but not very talkative. Anyway, the main reason I called was I heard a congressman saying that this January 6th committee is totally illegal now because Nancy Pelosi decided to get rid of the Republicans that we wanted and put whoever, Liz Cheney, whoever else was on.
Oh, really? So when did Kevin McCarthy make a big deal about this?
I heard it.
Please give me a break. That's another act. It's like professional wrestling, where they all hate each other and then backstage they're all best of buds. That's fake. Everything is going. Listen, I know President Trump said good things about Kevin McCarthy, but Kevin McCarthy, I call him the Judas of Mar-a-Lago, and Kevin McCarthy lost me when he agreed with Pelosi to remove Marjorie Taylor Greene, the great Marjorie Taylor Greene, from some committee assignments. I can't even remember. Was it that thing about Jewish space lasers that she never said? I can't remember what she did, but when I saw Kevin McCarthy come into an agreement to punish the great Marjorie Taylor Greene, that was it for me.
Man, yeah, I definitely hold that against him. He may do some good things once in a while, but then again, typical rhino, I think, that is not watching out for us.
Mm-hmm.
According to this congressperson, that because they changed the law.
Okay, all right. Hey, Doug, I got to run for a break. I'm very late. All right, it's 20 minutes after the hour. We'll be back right after this.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location.
Wow to what? What did I say that you went wow to?
Many suppliers, whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call.
Everybody loves Meatloaf.
954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to any lab test now.
I love Meatloaf. He went to Vince McMahon's house. Did he ever say that he went to Vince McMahon's house? My stomach's growling, all this talk of Meatloaf.
And I needed results right away, so I went to any lab test now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to any lab test now of Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the BioStation West Delray. At BioStation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone pellet and hormone replacement therapies. But that's just the start. We offer a full array of age management modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any sign or symptom of aging that you may have. And don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
Alrighty, welcome back, everyone. 22 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You know, there is a big move by the left to get Joe Biden out of the running for the presidency. And, you know, have you seen this new Time magazine cover celebrating supposedly year one of Biden? I mean, this let me tell you, okay, this Time magazine cover, I'll describe it, and then there's an article in Time magazine that goes into some detail. But it's Joe Biden with a storm cloud over his head, sitting at the desk in the Oval Office. It's raining. There are boxes that say COVID-19 on them behind him that haven't been shipped out with it says rapid antigen test. And then there's these binders on his desk. It's one says inflation, another Putin, another Build Back Better, another voting rights, and then another one says Trump 2024. And what they write about here in Time magazine, they wrote an article about themselves, Time magazine. As President Joseph Biden, this is from Time, closes in on his first year in office, the January 31st Time cover returns to a familiar setting, a gloomy Oval Office. Artist Tim O'Brien, who christened Biden's administration with Day One on February 1st, 2021, with a cover depicting a cluttered mess he was facing upon entering office after Trump. His latest Time cover, Year One, depicts the president facing a growing storm with COVID-19 tests stacked up in the corner, and issues like inflation, Putin's maneuvering domestic policies, and the prospect of the return of Donald Trump to the national stage, adding to the gloomy forecast. This new cover shows Biden in a cleaned-up office, but the tasks remain. And the mounting issues gather like storm clouds, says the artist, who's painted more Time covers, 36 and counting, than any other artist in the past 50 years, including covers ranging from subjects like the Catholic Church to Osama bin Laden. A year later, Biden sits at the resolute desk with mounting tasks and threats and a persistent COVID pandemic all still lingering. The country needs him to rise to the moment before it really starts raining. Well, I'm telling you right now, it's raining like a son of a gun, not just figuratively, but literally. It was raining this morning when I drove in. Looks like it slowed down a little bit. This Time magazine cover is probably the most relevant and significant Time magazine cover in decades. And I'll tell you why. You know, Time magazine's part of the mainstream liberal media establishment. For them to have a magazine cover depicting Biden as lost, as a loser, in chaos, that's not what Time magazine is about doing to Democrats. These are the types of things they do to Republicans like Nixon, Trump. The mainstream media, they're there to make Democrats look good, look like heroes, not look like they really are. And this may very well be the first Time magazine cover that shows a Democrat president in their true light, as a complete failure with no hope in sight. Now, they may have done things in the past that involved scandal, like, say, the Bill Clinton-Lewinsky matter and things like that, okay? Joe Biden, none of his scandals are being talked about, right? His foreign dealings, the Chinese, the Ukraine, the laptop, all that stuff. That his son paid for hookers with Joe's credit card, none of that stuff. So there's not a scandal. It's one thing, like, I could see them doing something like this when Bill Clinton was facing impeachment over the Lewinsky. But there's no scandal. There's just a stack of troubles on his desk because he is so checked out. But you know what? Things would be this bad even if he wasn't checked out. He's incompetent. So, you know, you got two he's incompetent, he's corrupt, and he's a senile old coot who wanders around thinking he's vice president and Obama's the president half the time, probably. This is a very historically significant event, this Time magazine cover, and it's not just something to look at and laugh at. We have never seen the mainstream liberal media turn on a Democrat president like this, especially in an election year. This is unheard of, and it's historic. All right, let's take some calls. You're on the radio. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. It's Ashley in Tennessee.
Oh, my goodness. Long time no hear. From Ashley from Tennessee, back in the days of Periscope is when we first...
Yeah, have you solved the mystery of what that is in Meatloaf?
In the Meatloaf song, I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. No. We don't know what the that is.
Well, the that is whatever he said in the line before.
Well, it says, I'll never lie to you, and that's a fact.
Right. So
okay. Okay, well, that's good.
Phonefacts.com.
Okay, phonefacts.com. Okay, appreciate it. Ashley in Tennessee. All right, take care. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Right, okay.
Hello, good morning, you're on the radio. Yes, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Renee from Missouri.
Renee, you're from Missouri. All right, Renee, go ahead.
Yes, I was looking at the lyrics, and it looks to me like the female was saying something to the effect that you'll be screwing around, and he says, no, I won't do that.
Well, how do you screw around for love? It can't be that. That doesn't make sense. I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. Screwing around? I don't think so.
Because they're supposed to be monogamous to each other, like boyfriend and girlfriend or something.
Yeah. It seems to be one of the unsolved mysteries of the cosmos.
I believe it's cheating, so.
That doesn't, you don't cheat for love. There's no, you know, people can kill for love, but you can't cheat for love unless you're in love with the person you're cheating with, I guess. I don't know. It's a good guess. All right. All right, take care. All right, good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian. It's Jeff from Coral Springs.
Jeff from Coral Springs. How you doing?
I'm doing great. The thing that concerns me is we're all getting really excited because of how poorly Biden's doing in the polls. But we need to have a plan.
You're never going to have that with Kevin McCarthy. There's too many rhinos around. Well, this is what will happen, okay? It's two steps, right? President Trump's first step, well, there's three steps. The first step we're in right now, and that's the primary rhinos out of office, both in the Senate, in the House, and governors, and replace them with MAGA Republicans. And he's got a rally a week from tomorrow in Texas. So step one is primary out the rhinos of the Republican Party. Step two, after the primary, is retake both houses of Congress. So, Steve Scalise said that Kevin McCarthy will be Speaker. It's already been decided, no matter how the election turns out. Yeah. So, I think I'm a little upset because I just, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I don't think so. Do you think Kevin McCarthy supports Trump or not?
I think he supports himself.
So, yeah.
Nationalize that election in federal offices. We took governorships in Massachusetts and New York, and
you're talking about Newt Gingrich's contract for America. Can you tell me, that was in '94, and we took back both houses of Congress for the first time like in 40 years at that time in '94, if I remember correctly. Can you tell me, it was a list of things, what was one of the things from the contract for America?
Term limits, balanced budget, line item V.
Term limits and line item veto. Okay. So neither of those happened.
Yeah, and it was for NAFTA. NAFTA was part.
That they didn't do that either. So they didn't. So they got elected on it, but they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you, now? Do you think? Let me ask you this. Okay, because that was Newt Gingrich and the Republican establishment. Okay, so you came up with three things: term limits, in NAFTA, and the line item veto, which is a power that Reagan wanted, where the president did not have to veto a whole bill, just put a line through parts he didn't support and veto those parts. So none of the contract for America happened. Do you think that was by accident or on purpose by Newt and the Republicans?
Well, some of the things passed, but Clinton vetoed them.
Yeah. See, this is the difference. This is the difference between MAGA and that. The big difference between Newt and the Republican Revolution of '94 and Trump is Trump accomplishes what he sets out to do, and he did it, right? He like our new governor in Virginia, he had to make new promises because he accomplished everything. See, these Republican establishments that you want Trump to model himself after, they never had any intention or plan on getting any of those things done. The establishment Republicans don't want to accomplish anything. They like the status quo. Trump's a doer, and that's why we've got to primary out these rhinos. We have a new contract for America. It's called Donald Trump.
I agree.
That's what, and we do have that.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's he was throwing out. I've got one of the hats. He was throwing out the hats with the new campaign slogan, "Save America," is the campaign slogan for 2024, and he was tossing hats that said "Save America" on them at the rally in Arizona. He'll probably do the same thing in Texas a week from Saturday. So our contract for America is "Save America" and finish the wall.
Yeah. That's something that would definitely go in there and finish the wall. But here's the thing. It's one of these situations where we should be able to pick up 40 seats, no problem. And
Well, there's a lot of Republicans like to think like losers. Do you think when Donald Trump's strategizing, do you think he sits around and thinks like you? Well, I think we're only going to pick up that. Or does he say, I'm talking about in private, we're going to take all these seats? What do you think Trump does? What do you think he says in private?
optimist. He wants to win them all.
No, he's an optimist. He's a winner. He thinks like a winner. You think like a loser.
Yeah.
Oh, so you agree? You agree that you think like a loser.
I think I want to win them all, but like I realize you got to pick and choose where you're going to spend money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. Take care. Thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Greg, Brian.
Oh, Greg, too. Hey, Greg, too.
Yeah. Newt Gingrich, know what he accomplished? Him and Clinton, they balanced the budget. Trump didn't do that.
Oh, and what did that do? How did that help? Tell me how that helped someone.
Balancing the budget?
Yeah, like you and I, that was, what year was that? 96, 95? Okay. So you and I, okay, hold on, slow down. I'm so glad you called because, I can learn from you. Since you've been to law school, you've got a little more education than I have, so you're obviously more knowledgeable and smarter and better. I know, you don't care about that. So in 95, when they balanced the budget, you and I were in the workforce. How did it make our lives better? How did it help me or you directly?
You know what? If the other politicians would have continued down that...
I didn't ask you, no. What did it... So your answer is it didn't benefit us at all?
No, it started...
It didn't benefit us at all. And so, but President Trump and his policies benefited all of us, and we can go through the list.
Did he balance the budget, Trump?
Well, that wasn't one of his promises. Those are Newt Gingrich's promises, okay, with Bill Clinton. He accomplished everything he set out to do, and he made our lives better. For example, he had the highest rate of employment for African Americans since the slaves were freed. Highest Hispanic employment, right? He kept the economy going during a global pandemic when the global economy was shut down for weeks and months. He lowered crime throughout America by cracking down on MS-13. He ended the largest prostitution, human trafficking, smuggling route in the world, the U.S. southern border. So you can talk about
listen, you're addressing other issues.
No, I'm not addressing other issues. I'm addressing the issues on the table.
Are you a proponent of government spending?
I don't care. They got machines that make the money. They don't even make money anymore. They just add zeros on computer screens. Okay? They don't even make money anymore. It's worth nothing. That's all feel good. That's all... No, excuse me. That is all feel good stuff to make, idiots like you think they've done something. But listen, I got to run for a break. I'm very late. Greg, too. Thanks for the call. All right, let's take our break. I'm Brian. It is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be back right after this.
Brian Craig here. You've heard Steve Kane talk about the great job Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting did on his new roof. We have on the line John from Wellington, one of our regular callers. He just had his roof repaired by Laporta Contracting, and he wanted to share his experience.
Thanks to the Steve Kane Show, my roof repairs were just completed by Laporta Contractors. They were fast, professional, and the cost of the repairs was very reasonable. I've had 4 sections of roof repaired, and upon initial inspection, they were honest and told me that my roof was good and I didn't need a new one. I called many roofers, and they were all scammers. They all wanted to put on a new roof, and they said they wouldn't repair what I had. Thanks, Brian. Another fantastic sponsor.
Wow, that's an amazing testimonial from John in Wellington. Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting will never sell you a roof that you don't need. Give him a call for a no-charge inspection of your roof. 954-604-4602. That number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com.
Hi, this is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. I just love Dr. Gupta. I've been seeing him for around 3 years. He always has time for me. He never does unnecessary work, and his prices are very affordable. And if you need implants, go see him because he has the best prices around. Let me give you the number. Write it down. It's 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633, BrightonDentalCare.com. He's just the best.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Veterans and spouses of veterans, you may be entitled to benefits that you are not aware of, including long-term care benefits. Call attorney Barry Siegel.
Pamela, $10 super chat. Thank you. You are a true honey badger for Trump. Don't let Greg 2 spew nonsense. That's right. Everyone, thank Pamela for that super chat.
FLA 3782 1-855 FLA 3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, welcome back. It is 41 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You know, the caller earlier from Coral Springs who says we need to have a contract for America. Okay, we have a whole bunch of those going on, right? The whole MAGA agenda. But did you see the story about Jim Jordan? Oh, my goodness. It's in the Washington Examiner. People will be talking about this today. Jim Jordan, the Ohio Republican, who is the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, will become the chairman of the Judiciary Committee when we take back the House of Representatives. He talked about investigations he plans to lead when the Republicans take control of the House in 2022. And he did this during an interview with Lisa Booth, who you see on TV all the time. Jordan says, when it comes to the Justice Department, what they're doing to parents, he's referring to a controversy over a letter comparing parent protest to domestic terrorism, which then the Attorney General Garland directed the FBI and the other Justice Department resources to help police investigate threats against school board members. Jordan said his second... So the first one is, so Jim Jordan, he'll be this is a great contract for America, right? Jim Jordan, as the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, first thing he's going to do is to get into this calling parents terrorists. We got a real terrorist who said he wanted to kill Jews, right? They got that new tape out of him. They can't say he's a terrorist, but parents at school board meetings are terrorists. And then Garland, using the Justice Department and FBI resources to investigate those parents and go to those school boards, he's going to look into that corruption of the federal law enforcement branch. That'd be a big one. And Jim Jordan's the guy to handle that. Jim Jordan said his second priority is getting accountability for the chaos at the southern border. He talked about how the Homeland Security Secretary of Biden has been brought before the committee, and Jerry Nadler has not been brought before the committee, and Jerry Nadler stopped it. So he's going to get into the corruption at the border. And Fauci, he says he is going to join forces with Senator Rand Paul and Ron Johnson to investigate the origins of the coronavirus pandemic, concerns about gain-of-function research in Wuhan, and Dr. Fauci. He says there's 6 or 7 things that they've misled on, and it goes on and on. So I think that's a pretty good promise to the country. Can you imagine? Then we'll have some fun. Oh, man. I'll tell you. You know, I read this morning an article, another thing, too. President Trump was talking about this at the rally in Arizona. Do you know how many Americans are being held in the D.C. Gitmo right now that have not been granted their constitutional guarantees, that everyone in this country, citizen or not, are guaranteed when they're arrested, speedy trial, etc.? There are 570 people being held in regards to the Capitol breach. They're not all at the D.C. Gitmo. They're at other facilities too, but the Justice Department has 570 U.S. citizens in custody that have been denied their constitutional rights as accused individuals. And it was very interesting that President Trump was talking about them, and he was talking about their the abuse of them in the rally in Arizona, and I think he'll talk more about that, and the murder of Ashley Babbitt. One of the other things, we're in midterm right now, right? So what we're trying to win back the whole Congress and some governors, some good governors. What are we hearing right now? Major high-profile investigations with very vocal, tough guys. Jim Jordan, Rand Paul. That's huge. Another one they're going to look into is the investigation into the shooting death of Ashley Babbitt. You've heard President Trump talk about this. She was unarmed. New footage came out 2 days ago that showed that Ashley Babbitt was trying to hold back people from going through that doorway into that speaker's hallway where she was shot and killed, who was denied a military funeral, Ashley Babbitt. These are all things that the Republicans are running on, looking into, because right now we've got a complete lawless government, and they're doing a lot of things that need to be fixed, including finding out, getting these 570 people that have been held for a year, some of them without trial in the Capitol breach, to get the process going so they can get their day in court. The Capitol Police Lieutenant that killed Ashley Babbitt, there was not one interview with him by investigators that came out last week. They did not interview him once before they cleared him of the shooting. And how do you clear a police officer in a police-involved shooting death of an individual without interviewing the cop that did it? They did. So these investigations and hearings, that's the new contract for America, because we're not just going to be taking the Congress back from Democrats, we're going to be taking it back from lawless people. All right, listen, we're going to take our last break of the second hour. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE 1. 888-465-2631. Back right after this.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in studio with Debbie from I Will Advisors. She has an incredible new service to tell you about called I Will Advocates. Debbie, what is I Will Advocates and how are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner, we can step in. If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling a prescription, or feel that you're being mischarged for something, you can contact us and we will step in. Even if you're at the hospital and you feel like you're being neglected, we'll be there for you at a touch of a button, whether it's to call the nurse's station or assist in any other way.
So if someone's in the hospital, they feel they're not getting the care.
Steve Kane Show.
They haven't seen their doctor, they haven't seen their nurse, they can actually call you and you'll contact
Steve
the
Kane
hospital
Show.
for them?
Absolutely. We act as your family. We'll step up, we'll call the nurse's station and ask for some assistance. If we can't get anything done there, we'll go to the higher levels.
Now, this is a service that you're offering. Now, they do not have to be an existing client of I Will Advisors to take advantage of this, right?
Oh, of course not. No, we're here for any Medicare client.
Steve Kane Show.
Assist in any way. We don't need to be your insurance agent. We're just here to help
Hey,
you
hold
with
on.
your medical needs.
This is an incredible opportunity for those of you who are Medicare recipients. Debbie at I Will Advocates will help you with your prescriptions. You'll set up doctor's appointments for them, including the primary care physician and specialist, right?
Of course, we'll assist in anything helping you find new doctors.
They'll help you with your medical billing. They'll help you with your insurance billing. If you feel you've been billed wrong by your doctor, they'll step in for that and even help you if you're in the hospital. Basically, what you're offering is a concierge service to senior citizens.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like this before. So how much does this cost?
Well, for just $20 a month, you will have the security of knowing that you have an experienced, compassionate advocate just a touch of a button away.
To learn more, call Debbie's office. The number 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. Or go online. You can sign up online at iwilladvocates.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, 10 minutes before 8, I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. Back to our phones. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Mike from Massachusetts.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
You were talking earlier about the train robberies, and one of the callers suggested that it was a derailment. And I heard on Newsmax, I believe it was, a couple of weeks ago, how two Antifa members had been caught attempting to derail trains.
You know, it's funny you say that, because I remember, I don't know if this is when Trump was president or right before, but Antifa was going after trains a few years ago. Now you've just jogged my memory on that. That's familiar. Yeah.
Right, now I Googled, I searched it
Steve Kane Show.
to get my facts straight before calling.
Hey, hold on.
I didn't see this recent, this was within the last few weeks that there was supposed to be some Antifa members arrested. Last year, in August, there was a guilty plea to a terrorist act by two women who had attempted to derail trains up at the Canadian border.
Wow.
Said that there have been numerous attempts at train.
See, I thought train robberies ended when Butch and Sundance went to Bolivia, but they're back. I get it's one area of the economy. It's where Biden has created jobs. Train robbers.
I would assume that none of these attempts have been done by white supremacist groups, or it would be on the news.
Yeah.
So I would think maybe this Antifa is
Antifa.
Yeah, and the other one was, which is a similar matter, there was a suggestion that Antifa was involved in the uptick of fires, back last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah. No, but there was, I'm going to look into that later today. If anybody remembers, it might have been, I don't know if it was during Obama or Trump, but there were examples around the country of Antifa attacking trains. I don't remember it's been a long time now, and it just, when you mention Antifa, I just had a vague recollection, so I don't remember the details of it. But that's a tactic of Antifa. There's a history of train attacks by Antifa in this country, so yeah.
Question, Brian.
It must be a good one if you've asked permission to ask it.
Okay. The issue of where California is downgraded robberies in shoplifting to a misdemeanor, that include train robberies as
well? I mean, I'm not a lawyer. You have to ask Mark Levin, but I mean, I thought train robberies were federal offenses.
Interstate, but I mean,
well, all train tracks are interstate. I think trains are specifically. Don't they have a special law enforcement branch of the federal government specifically for things like that? I don't know. I mean, train robberies went out in 1888. So this is an area of law we've not dealt with, for a long time. But hey, Biden's old, so he's bringing back old crimes, I guess. Stagecoaches will be next under Biden. Watch out. All right, take care. Take care. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. It's Ben from Pompano.
Hey, Ben. Good, Ben. What's up?
Good. I want to get your impression on this. Do you think first day when we take back Congress and the House, we should pull the same trip? One.
Biden? Yes. Yeah.
I agree. Good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much you can do. He's given us a laundry list between the border and Hunter. I feel like they really need to capitalize on that day one.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go in there and be gentlemen, But Kevin McCarthy is not going to do that. Kevin McCarthy is a fake.
And I think that's one of our biggest problems is we're the lose politely, gentlemanly. That we need to go as hard as they have, and I think that's a big lesson with a lot of the candidates you're seeing. Like Joe Kent and Robbie Starbuck coming up in the this election cycle is that I don't think they're going to mess around. Like, we're part of the problem.
Well, we're gonna have a lot of new people there that are very vocal. Because we're going to have a lot of MAGA Republicans. But it's important for Trump to come back in 2024 with that, because in 2010 we had the Tea Party revolution, and we had all these Tea Party people there, and where's the Tea Party today? They got rid of it. The establishment got rid of the Tea Party. People like Alan West are out. Believe me, the Republicans will never let Alan West be governor of anything. Okay, he's not going to be governor of Texas, no matter, even if, no way, they'll never allow it. Because he was with the Tea Party. So MAGA without Trump, right, taking over. It's like Lindsey Graham told Hannity the other night that Mitch McConnell needs to prove his loyalty to Trump and recognize him as the leader. Well, I need to see that from Kevin McCarthy. And I know he flies down to Mar-a-Lago all the time, but I don't think I'm alone in this. I think he's a never Trumper. And I heard some reports that I've not heard shot down, that he was on the phone with President Trump yelling at him on January 6th. That's unacceptable if that's true. And I've never heard that denied. Steve Kane.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes he does some. I saw him the day before they passed. I think they were going. It was Build Back Better in the House, and he gave an 8-hour speech against it.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting. He stood up and gave a speech. Let's give him an award. So what? What else? He's a member of Congress. What else has he got to do? I know. And that's just about. Remember, that's just about trying to get in the history books of standing on his feet reading from the phone book. Who cares? No, like there was this rift fake news story about Trump and DeSantis. Boom, it's already been, President Trump said last night it's not true. Did 2 interviews yesterday, President Trump said it's not true. I haven't heard anything that makes me feel Kevin McCarthy is not a never Trumper. Hey, listen, time to break, but thanks for the call. It's time for the Health Report with Janet Cimarelli from AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace. Janet Cimarelli, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. I have some very interesting words to share with your listeners
Steve Kane
today.
Show.
Very interesting. You think, okay, I
hold
put
on.
food in my mouth. I'm filling up my stomach. I'm feeling satisfied. Everything tasted delicious. But do we ever think about what kind of nutrients are in those foods that we're eating? Hopefully we're not eating like microwave popcorn and fast food too often. Okay, so I'm thinking, all right, you have a nice piece of fish, you have some vegetables on your plate, you have a salad, good olive oil-based dressing on that salad, but how do you get those minerals, those traces? How do you get the most out of what you're eating? What's on your plate every meal? Okay.
Yeah.
A very simple reminder. Chew. You have to so much chew in order to break down all of the different fibers and the different cells that make up those foods, so that when the food hits your stomach, okay, the acids and enzymes that have been mixing with the food from chewing, the saliva, all of the different enzymes that your body produces at every different stage of your digestive system. Then you might want to think about taking enzymes. So many people around the country, around the world, popping antacids, and they don't understand that antacids make them more vulnerable to viruses and bacteria. Any microorganism that can make them sick could be around their food. Enzymes in your saliva, the enzymes in the enzyme supplement that you take, they help to neutralize all of those potential infectors. Don't drink water while you're eating, just little sips, because you don't want to make those enzymes any weaker. You don't want to put them in a solution where they're not so active.
Doc McClintock, $5 super chat. Everyone thank Doc. 2022 red wave, Trump is speaker, impeach Biden and Harris at the same time. Trump becomes 46th president.
active.
It runs
You
again
don't
in
have
24 and
to
becomes,
break
yeah,
it
that
down.
would be awesome.
And with the right different fibers
That would be awesome.
in your food, you're making a change in your lower digestive system that is excellent, 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 absorbing the nutrients. So I have an array of different enzymes at AJ's Natural Wellness. Some very, very gentle for sensitive stomachs. Some very, very strong for those people who need some boost to break.
No doubt.
10 a.m. on Health Matters. Very, very unusual conversation is all I'm going to say.
Oh, now there's mystery there. Yeah, Janet Cimarelli, her radio show, Tuesdays and Fridays, today's Friday, at 10 a.m. on all of our radio stations and also the iHeartRadio and TuneIn apps as well. A mystery guest that is going to be unusual. Okay, I'm going to be by my radio at 10 a.m. today for that. AJ's Natural Wellness Shop is located in the Festival Marketplace, which is very easy to find. The Festival Marketplace immediately east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample Road in Pompano. And AJ's is easy to find. Go right back to the food court. Right before the food court, look west. You'll see the information booth. That's where AJ's is. And, of course, you can call over there to schedule a no-charge consultation with Janet Cimarelli. And they do also, by the way, ship anywhere, all of their products, if you can't make it in. 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851. AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace. All right, Janet Cimarelli, have a great weekend. We will talk next week. All right, take care. All right, everyone on hold, stand by. 2 hours down, 1 to go. We'll be back after this quick break.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
President Donald Trump here. When Melania and I put our heads down at night, it's on a MyPillow. And when we order MyPillows, we always use the best promo code Kane at checkout at MyPillow.com. That's K-A-N-E for huge savings. That's promo code Kane at MyPillow.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Here's Steve.
All right, welcome back, everyone. 3 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian. It is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Oh, man, 2 hours down, less than an hour to go. Let's go back to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Rich from Jersey.
Hey, Rich, what's up?
Hey, listen, I got an answer to your Meatloaf question.
Oh, great. Well, let me tell people what the question is before you tell us. You know, the great singer and actor Meatloaf passed away, and I was asking a question earlier. His hit song in 1993, I'll Do Anything for Love, has a lyric in it. I will do anything for love, but I won't do that. No, I won't do that. We're trying to figure out what the one thing that Meatloaf will not do for love in that song.
Now, if you listen to both albums, it's a rock opera. Both albums.
Bat Out of Hell and Bat Out of Hell 2.
Correct. Now, the first album is all about getting the girls on the road and what they have to do to get them. And in Paradise by the Dashboard Lights, it leads up what he has to do to get the girl, right? And then the song after that, I can't remember the name of the title, is For Crying Out Loud, because now he says he loves her, he gets what he wants, but now he's stuck with her. And then the second album is all about the first song is actually that song, I'll Do Anything for Love, is he won't marry her because that's what she wants now. He won't marry her. because if you go into the titles kind of explained it all of both albums.
Okay.
Out of the fire, out of the frying pan into the fire.
I don't know. I think a lot of this is open for interpretation because I've been hearing a lot of people saying different things, and I don't remember hearing marriage in the song, but maybe it's in there and I missed it.
If you go, well, it's not in that song itself. It's like I said, both albums are a rock opera.
Yeah, I know they do. And the first album, Bat Out of Hell, I'm not as familiar with as I am Bat Out of Hell 2, I guess, an age thing. I don't. When did Bat Out of Hell come out? Was it the 70s or early 80s? I don't need all those answers. But oh, he knows all the answers, but that. No. All right, hey, listen, appreciate the info.
I may be 50 plus years old, and I may have been born when the album came out, but I think I was a young kid. So
I know, it was a long time ago, but okay. Take care. I heard you the first time. Okay, good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, my personal favorite, great song of all time is 2 Out of 3 Ain't Bad. I don't think you've...
That's a good song, too. Meatloaf, 2 Out of 3 Ain't Bad. Yeah, that's a great song, too. Yeah.
Question. What would Trump do with the situation with Russia? What's going on there? They're trying to invade that other country,
Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah. What would Trump...
Well, first off, there would be no situation if Trump were in the White House right now. What Putin is doing is testing Biden. That's what he's doing. Yeah.
I have a theory on that.
Yeah, that's what you have a theory on that. So he would do nothing, President Trump, because the situation would not exist. World leaders trembled at what Trump would do because Trump understood what makes the world go round. Money. And that's all these people care about is money. What do you think? How do you think he got control of Kim Jong-un? He went and met with Kim Jong-un when he walked across the line, and he said, hey, North Korea could be as rich as South Korea. And then all of a sudden, Kim Jong-un's playing ball.
Mm-hmm. Okay, anyway, nice talking to you, baby Jesus. Catching up.
What is that about, baby Jesus? What's that about? I have no idea. All right, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. I just made a passing reference about Meatloaf at about 2 minutes before 7, and Meatloaf is a beloved man. I mean, the phone calls will not stop about Meatloaf. I'm really surprised about that. I thought I'd get maybe like one call, and they'd have the answer, and that would be it. And here we are. People are just really, Meatloaf was MAGA. Maybe that's what it is all about. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Yeah, hi. This is Dave from Lake Worth.
Hey, you got to speak up. I heard Lake Worth. What's your first name?
My name's Casey from Lake Worth.
Casey from Lake Worth. What's up, Casey from Lake Worth?
Guys, I was actually wanting to call about Putin in Ukraine, and
yes.
And what I wanted to say about Putin in Ukraine is if you guys remember, we staged the color revolution in Ukraine, which prompted. This was under Obama, which prompted Putin to say, no way, you're not installing all your people on our border. That's why Putin invaded Ukraine, because we staged the color revolution on it.
And this may be. How does that affect us? I mean, why are we supposed to be so concerned about the Ukraine? What difference does it make? The Ukraine used to be part of the Soviet Union, and Putin's position is the same position Lincoln had when the southern states formed the Confederacy. That's like if Florida decided it was leaving the Union, and Lincoln said you can't leave the Union. I don't care. Russia could take over Ukraine. I don't think it would change anything in our lives. Who cares?
And that's
maybe things would be better. Maybe it'd bring some stability if he took over Ukraine. Who cares?
I agree. There was a story on OAN regarding Kazakhstan, and we just there was just a revolution there. It's the same thing happening there. And this is a gangster war between Biden and Hunter Biden.
Well, you know, this is the deal, okay? This is the deal. And this was an interesting thing about Ukraine. You know, Ukraine, remember Colonel Vindman? Do you know where he's from?
I know it's from the Eastern Bloc.
He was born in the Ukraine. That lady, U.S. ambassador to the Ukraine, that was trashing Trump in the impeachment hearings, you know where she's from?
Ukraine?
That's right. And there's a lot of Ukrainians in high-powered positions in the government. And a lot of people, like the Clintons and the Bidens and others, make a lot of money in the Ukraine. You know, Michael Cohen, who, you know, President Trump's former lawyer, that creep traitor, his wife is from the Ukraine. So I don't know what it is. Maybe the Democrats, maybe the liberals just saw, like the Clintons saw Haiti after the earthquake. It was a place in trouble that they could rape, you know, and make money out of. You know, I mean, hunters and all that, Ukrainian companies and everything. Who cares who has the Ukraine? I don't care. This isn't the days of the Soviet Union. Like, if Putin takes it over, it's not going to become some Eastern Bloc country. Russia's like a free country now.
That's my point. And
who gives a damn?
And our involvement in it is completely misleading. It's like we need to stand up for Ukraine. Well, no.
Why?
Russia is messing with Ukraine is because we've been messing with
this. Let me tell you what this is about. Let me tell you. The entire Cold War was a lie. Remember the famous quote of Eisenhower when he left the White House, beware the military-industrial complex. This thing in the Ukraine, all these companies that have bought off all the government officials make tons of money. They want another war. And it's funny you bring this up because I was reading a column this morning that somebody wrote that said, the headline was, Biden needs a war, don't give him one. And this thing with the Ukraine is being pumped up by people to try to save Biden. You know, no president has lost re-election in time of war. A lot of people don't know that, but it's true. And, President Trump's the only president in the modern era to not start a new war. So here they're doing a wag the dog thing. We're supposed to be all concerned about Ukraine. Who gives a blank about it? Who cares?
That's why I wanted to call. I just think everybody's got the wrong information. People are worked up about it, but we're instigating it, just like we're doing in Kazakhstan.
It's not that there's a couple things in play. They want the fake conflict so Biden can come out and look like he's got balls and he's in charge and he's with it. And the other thing is, these corrupt government officials like Biden, who's still making money out of Ukraine, they want Ukraine scared, always under threat from Mother Russia, so that they will pay off the politicians and put Hunter Biden on boards and other family members on boards with fake jobs and all this other stuff. It's a money-making scam, many different ways. Let Ukraine for Russia. Who cares? Yeah.
Other permanent government, the CIA, and all these permanent folks are controlling the world.
Now, maybe I'm wrong. If someone could tell me, I know they'll say, well, yeah, but they got that naval port there, and Putin will have the port, and we can't let Putin have the port. And, who cares if he's got the seaport? Who cares? What's he going to do with it? Is it going to hurt us?
That's what I wanted to say, and I wanted your listeners to look up the Color Revolution there.
The Color Revolution. Okay, if you want something to fall asleep to, you can look up the Color Revolution in Ukraine, according to our caller from Lake Worth. Now, I got to tell you guys about what I'm calling Brian's Valentine's Bundle from MyPillow.com. And, whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, you can save up to 66% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And whatever special you see, no matter what it says, you can take advantage of with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. But I'm going to go through with you here. Valentine's Day is coming up. It'll be here before you know it. And I have put together my very own bundle of things. So go to MyPillow.com. You'll see the specials that I am sharing with you. It starts with the MyPillow bathrobes. My wife and I got each other the MyPillow bathrobes last year, his and hers. They're beautiful. They're comfortable. I've had the robe almost a year. I wash it all the time, and every time I take it out of the dryer, it looks brand new like the day I got it in the mail. And they have a bunch of new colors of the bathrobes in, bunch of new colors. They're all in stock. I checked this morning. Also, they got a new style robe. I have the heavy robe. They have that still, but they also have a new lighter robe. And let me tell you, his and hers bathrobes for Valentine's Day is a great Valentine's Day gift. And with the promo code Kane at checkout, 30% off the MyPillow bathrobe. And of course, with your bathrobe, you want your MyPillow My Slippers. I have the MyPillow My Slippers. They're wonderful. They're so comfortable, so soft. They have many different styles and colors for both men and women. I have the tan moccasin fur line MyPillow My Slippers, but they have many other styles, many other colors, even pink for the ladies. 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers with our promo code at checkout, Kane, K-A-N-E. And finally, the final part of the bundle, the MyPillow sleepwear. Mike Lindell has a new line of sleepwear for both men and women, very stylish, many different colors, solids, patterns, beautiful and comfortable, and like everything else Mike Lindell makes, very high quality. The MyPillow sleepwear for men and women, with our promo code at checkout, Kane, K-A-N-E, 50% off. Great deals at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane. Those make that's a great bundle for Valentine's Day. What'd you get for Valentine's Day last year? Do you even remember? Don't get flowers, they die. Candy? Who wants candy, right? After the moment of eating, especially the ladies. They don't want candy. They don't want to eat the candy. You'll end up eating the candy. But the bathrobes, the My Slippers, and that sleepwear, they'll remember that for years to come. So great deals there. Promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. Back right after this.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting.
Steve Kane Show.
And Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane
Hey, Pete, hold on.
season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at LaportaContracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to the Steve Kane Show.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, 19 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the radio. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Pete from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Pete. What's up?
Good morning, Brian. I'm sorry to hear about Meatloaf.
Yes.
He wasn't really in my my time period, but another thing I wanted to say, there is American Freedom Tour coming up in Fort Lauderdale, February 19th. Donald Trump Jr., Kayleigh McEnany, Mike Pompeo, Judge Janina, and just letting everybody know that's going to happen February 19th here in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes. Yeah. You know, a lot of people don't know this. This will change. You know, Judge Jeanine's been named a permanent panelist on the 5. So she's no longer going to be doing her Saturday show, Judge Jeanine. They, you know, and Jesse Waters is leaving the weekends too because they gave him that 7 o'clock slot. So they moved Bongino to 9 o'clock on Saturday nights and gave Brian Kilmeade the 8 o'clock show on Saturday nights. But Judge Jeanine is in Fort Lauderdale all the time. She's here all the time. In fact, since she's usually here all week long. But they should be able to do that now because of being the regular on the 5. She won't be here as much. A lot of people don't know that. So that makes sense. That's why they're having the Freedom thing in Fort Lauderdale. Probably has something to do with that with her.
Kelly like this, you know, way of putting things.
Yeah, you know, and I'm sorry to see her not do the Saturday show as opposed to the 5. She's very good on the 5. Don't misunderstand me, but I really enjoy Judge Jeanine having her own show and just going off, as opposed to sitting there and have to react to Geraldo's stupidity or get her moment, you know, of the 5 when they go around the table. It's not, to me, we won't get to see the real Judge Jeanine as a regular on the 5, in my opinion. She's very good, though. I mean, I love Judge Jeanine.
I can mean too. I really like her honesty and straightforwardness. You know, she's just getting bigger and bigger all the time.
Yeah, and she lives in Florida on the West Coast. So, you know, yeah, she lives here in Florida, yeah. Mm-hmm. Her and her husband and her baby.
As usual, Brian, I enjoy your show.
Well, thank you. Well, I enjoy your calls. I appreciate your call. You know, Trump's rally this past Saturday night triggered the left like you would not believe, right? Well, I guess you believe it because you've seen it. And one of the things that really flipped them out were the Blacks for Trump. And, you know, Blacks for Trump, the main Blacks for Trump guy, Maurice, who I met at Mar-a-Lago, I got a great selfie with the Blacks for Trump guy. You know, the one that's at every rally. The other Blacks for Trump, sometimes it's the same, but there's a crew that change up that Maurice brings with him. And the Blacks for Trump guy, Maurice is his real name, but you guys know who I'm talking about, the main Blacks for Trump guy. He's been at every Trump rally, I think, since the beginning. Have you ever seen a Trump rally without Blacks for Trump? If you haven't, it's been a long time. That's what he does. But I don't know what it is about the Arizona rally. The Arizona rally really triggered the left about Blacks for Trump. MSNBC was just, they didn't even want to cover the Trump rally, but they were talking about Blacks for Trump at the Trump rally. And sure enough, what do I see this morning? A story trying to destroy the reputation of Maurice, the main Black for Trump guy that you all recognize. And there's an article today in Yahoo News that's from The Intercept, and it's in many other places too, including The Root at Yahoo News. And for some reason, I think that's like Black News. I could be wrong. Here's the headline. Blacks for Trump founder was part of a violent cult, according to a report. And they have this huge story on him. You know, he's 69 years old. He does not look 69. And let me read some of this to you. If you've ever walked down a city street and saw someone standing on a box with a microphone screaming about the end of the world and government conspiracies, it could have been Maurice, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, Simoniette. That's the Blacks for Trump guy. The 69-year-old black man is President Trump's biggest groupie and the founder of Blacks for Trump. Yet his discipleship to supervillains began with a violent cult based in Miami. According to The Intercept, he followed cult leader Yahweh Ben Yahweh, who was accused of conspiracy to murder after trying to sacrifice 14 white people for an initiation ritual. Local Florida news reported the so-called Temple of Love was built on a Hebrew Israeli-like belief system, and Yahweh often referred to himself as Jesus. He was accused of ordering followers, this is Yahweh Ben Yahweh, of stabbing, to behead, and sever the limbs of people who threatened him. The local news reported that Maurice, the founder of Blacks for Trump, was charged in 2 murders but was acquitted. And it goes on, and then they get into this. He's garnered more attention behind President Trump at every campaign rally. He's become a game of Where's Waldo, waving a Blacks for Trump sign and a matching T-shirt. And it goes on. Let me tell you something here. I've met the guy. I've talked to the guy. He's a nice guy. People love the Blacks for Trump guy. And whenever I've seen him more than once, and the first time I saw him was up at Mar-a-Lago. There was a line of people to take selfies with this guy like I've never seen. He's very famous. Nobody knows his name's Maurice. Everybody calls him the Blacks for Trump guy. And he on his own goes to every rally. He gets behind Trump because he gets there early, and now, not because Trump puts him there, but now because he's so famous, when he gets to a rally, people say, oh, come sit here, Blacks for Trump guy. And the left, the Democrats, the mainstream media, Al Sharpton was having a fit on MSNBC about this after the rally last weekend. Blacks for Trump is a clear and present danger to the Democrats. They're in a panic mode about Blacks for Trump because they're afraid other blacks will go to church. Listen, Trump's already taken a huge chunk of black voters to the MAGA movement to vote Republican. You've already lost that one, Sharpton. You've already lost that, MSNBC. But this is what they do, just like they did to Sarah Palin. Whenever they're in, and Alan West, whenever there is someone who's in one of the Democrat victim classes, woman, Hispanic, African American, whoever, a gay person, and they're MAGA or they're conservative and they garner attention and support and become popular, what does the media do? They go out to destroy them. They go out to discredit them because they are terrified of them. Let me tell you, I don't know the background of Blacks for Trump. I know I've met him. He's a cool guy. People love him. And if all he does is stand behind Trump, he does a lot of great work because he is a role model. But what they do to him, what they're starting to do to him now, they want him gone from the rallies because now we got our next rally in Texas a week from Saturday, not this Saturday, a week from Saturday, is Trump's next Save America rally. And you know Blacks for Trump are going to be there. They don't want blacks from Trump. See, what the Democrats and the media have convinced themselves of is that Trump has no black support. There's no black MAGA. There's 4 or 5 guys, and they're always behind Trump. That is not the case. You know, when I went to the Trump rally, 2 Trump rallies in particular that I went to, the one in Sunrise by the Sawgrass Mills Mall at the arena where the Florida Panthers play. When I got to that rally, what blew my mind was how many black and Hispanic people were there. In particular, black people. I've been going to conservative events my entire life as an adult, you know, through this job. And there rarely were black people there in the past. If there were, there was usually one guy, and he was a guest speaker talking about how he escaped from the Democrat plantation, and he would talk, and the white Republicans. You go to a Trump event, a Trump rally is one of the most diverse events you will ever go to in America. Black, Hispanic, gays, Asians. Oh man, there are so many Chinese and Vietnamese for Trump at Trump rallies. So, but they think if they can get rid of Maurice, there'll be no black people behind Trump. Let me tell you, if Maurice and the Blacks for Trump, if he stopped going, there'd be more people back there because he has a huge base of black Trump supporters. There's a lot of black MAGA out there. The first Trump rally I went to was when he was running the first time, and it was in Boca. And it was at a much smaller venue. We were packed in like sardines, and it was amazing because President Trump came over in his Trump helicopter with Melania, and they played some dramatic music that sounded like from Private Ryan, and somebody came on the loudspeaker and said, "The next president of the United States is arriving from the northern sky." And we look over, and it was nighttime. You know, it was dark out, and they're playing this movie soundtrack music. There's cool lights going on, and President Trump comes over with Melania in the Trump helicopter, and the helicopter stops over us, and turns banks left a little bit. There's a big window on the side, and they wave. Oh my gosh, people went nuts. But I left something in my car, and after I was in the rally before Trump got there, and I went to my car, and the parking lot was virtually empty because everybody was inside. I talked about this at the time. Some of you may remember, probably not, but I talked about this at the time. So I go to my car to get something out during the break. It was an umbrella, I think I went. So I can't remember what I went to get. But anyway, I went to my car, and in the parking lot was a group of black people, okay, and they were being instructed by a white guy in a suit who had a clipboard. And the white guy in the suit was telling them what to do, what to say, and where to go to protest. And they were Black Lives Matter, or at least they had Black Lives Matter signs, and some of them had scarves on like they wear in Afghanistan around their neck, you know? And I thought to myself, wow, you know? And the reason that Democrats look at blacks for Trump and say, those guys, those are the only black supporters, they're props, it's fake, because that's what Democrats do. See, Democrats use props, use people as props, set everything up, everything's fake with them. So they just assume that Trump and MAGA and Republicans do the same thing that they do. And that's just not the case. The diversity at the Trump rallies is organic and more diverse than a Democrat rally. All right, listen, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this.
COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Hey guys, Brian Craig here. I have the MyPillow slippers at Mike Lindell. He's right. These are the most comfortable slippers I've ever worn. And you can get them for 40% off at MyPillow.com with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. One of our listeners called in on the air and told us about his experience with the MyPillow My Slippers.
Brian, I have the MyPillow slippers, and I have neuropathy. These are fantastic slippers.
Really? Which ones do you have? Which style do you have?
The fur-lined one.
Oh, the slip-on fur-lined ones?
Yeah, inside, outside.
What is neuropathy, and what are the symptoms?
Well, the nerves in your feet start going bad, and it affects your balance, and it's painful.
So you're wearing the MyPillow My Slippers, which, by the way, 40% off with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and it's helped with your neuropathy.
Yes, it is. It's much. I have to wear slippers at home. I can't go barefoot or even with socks on.
Wow.
So I have to wear that. And I also have the MyPillow pillow and the MyPillow mattress topper and the.
That mattress topper is unbelievable, isn't it?
Absolutely. My wife loves it.
Oh, man. I know, they're all great. Yeah, I know. And by the way, when you use the promo code KANE at checkout, 40% off the MyPillow slippers, 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper, and you get 2 free MyPillows with it. So it's great. Well, that's awesome. Order your MyPillow My Slippers 40% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. Or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the BioStation West Delray. At BioStation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience.
Oh, Debbie is who sent me these bobbleheads of Sleepy Joe and our great President Trump back there.
We offer a full array of age management modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any sign or symptom of aging that you may have. And don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout.
My mouth is tired. I talk so much between the radio show and my podcast.
1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, 35 minutes after the hour, it's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian, and I was listening to Dr. Mitch Matez during the break. Hormone replacement pellet therapy. You've heard me for years talk about the great benefits I have experienced as a patient of Dr. Mitch Matez. And I just wanted to talk a moment, though, to the ladies. And I want to use an example that'll show you how hormone replacement pellet therapy can help women. Yesterday, you may have seen Kamala Harris just had a hysterical fit with Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show. She lost her temper. She was snarky. She was nasty, very moody. That was menopause that you saw in Kamala Harris. That was menopause. And hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Mitch Matez at the BioStation not just does all the great things for men that you hear me talk about all the time, it does wonderful, wonderful things to women as well, including stopping and reversing 100% all the signs and symptoms of menopause. Night sweats gone. Those Kamala-like mood swings gone. Every other sign and symptom of menopause gone and reversed with hormone replacement pellet therapy. I'm telling you. If Biden and Kamala started hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Mitch Matez at the BioStation, we'd be in a whole new place politically in this country, I'm here to tell you. Now, it is always a free consultation with Dr. Mitch Matez at the BioStation. And those of you that are out of town, even out of state, you give him a call too. He may be able to help you. Here's the number, 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893. That's Dr. Mitch Matez at the BioStation. I wanted to mention this story with Howard Stern because, I haven't talked about it too much because my first thought was Howard Stern is just, trying to get publicity and everyone talking about him. And there may be some of that, but he's just going on and on where it's a whole nother level. Howard Stern said unvaccinated people should not have access to hospitals. And if the decision was left up to him, that's the way it would be. Let me tell you, I'm an admirer of Howard Stern. That may sound surprising to some people, but I never listened to Howard Stern when he was on the regular radio because he was not on in this market when I was young, and we didn't have an internet then. And by the time he came to the South Florida radio market, I was with Steve, and it was on at the same time, so I didn't listen to it. I have listened to him, though, over the last few years, and I think he's one of the best interviewers I've ever heard. And I've listened to Howard Stern, and I mean that, in particular celebrity interviews, and I really do mean that. I've heard him have guests on that I've never heard of and don't care about, and I'm captivated listening to his interviews. I don't like all that sex stuff and things that he does, but his interviews are spectacular. And I was very impressed with him. He was on that David Letterman Netflix show a couple years back, and it was a one-on-one interview with Letterman and Howard Stern, and he talked about how he first got interested in radio, and he talked about how he listened to Bob Grant when he was young, and he modeled what he did after Bob Grant. And, of course, Steve knew Bob Grant back in the Joe Pine days in the 60s, and Bob Grant's one of the great radio talk show hosts of all time. And I came to realize that what Howard Stern does minus the sex stuff, is very similar to what we do here. I know that may sound crazy to a lot of people, but it is very similar. What he does, it's not so much FM shock jock, it's talk radio. And there's a lot of similarities between the Steve Kane Show and the Howard Stern Show. A textbook example of it is the Chronic Callers. You know, he's got his callers are personalities. He's got a handful of callers that are personalities on the show, like we do here on this program and always have done. But this comment about him, the unvaccinated people should not have access to hospitals. You know, and I know some people have commented on this aspect of it. There was a time when Howard Stern was fight the system, you know? And he became famous and popular and successful and number one and worth millions of dollars by being this fight the system guy. And now he's an old grandpa who's scared. He's scared. I've heard him during this era. He's terrified to be around people from the pandemic. Yeah, listen, this guy was born and raised in New York, so he's a liberal. I get it. He's scared. But what I find troubling about it is for a Jew to talk about denying healthcare access to a class of people. You're going to give them a tattoo on their wrist, Stern? How are you going to do that? You know, people can forge these flimsy vaccination cards they hand out. And, you know, it's really disturbing from that perspective to hear a Jew in America say this when there's been so many people that have been asking that question. How did the Holocaust happen? How did the Holocaust happen? By things like this, by denying access to public services to a group of people that you don't like or that you don't support, that you want to segregate. So, you know, as a liberal, as a Jew, this is very disturbing to me. You know, would you deny hospitals to people that need quadruple bypass because they ate at McDonald's every day of their life? That'd be ridiculous. Hospitals are for everyone in this country. We don't segregate healthcare. This is why we argued so hard during the Obamacare to keep the federal government out of healthcare, because what Stern's talking about is something that's very popular with liberals, and that is a segregation from public society of unvaccinated people. And if they had the power to do it, they would do it. There's a video, I can't play it for you on the radio because it's in French, but you can find it online and they have subtitles. In Canada, there was an event with adults and school children, and they asked children, what do you do with someone who's unvaccinated? And they say, call the police. And they're like, yes, that's the correct answer. You can find this online. It's circulating all over the internet. And if it was in English, I would play it for you, but, you know, it's in French. And I can't show subtitles on the radio. But, you know, liberalism this is an interesting time because, you know, what the pandemic has done has brought out the true left. You know, I was talking earlier about Robert Reich, Bill Clinton's labor secretary. He had this tweet that he deleted after like an hour or so. He tweeted, he said, senators were lining up to shake hands with Senator Sinema after she voted against the filibuster legislation. They should have been going up to her with the back of their hand, which means they should have slapped her with the back of their hand. That's an old way that they used to talk about in the 50s and in the 60s of how men would control their housewives, their wives, with the back of the hand. Violence, right? Robert Reich is advocating violence against a sitting United States senator and a woman, and a sexist type of violence too, the back of the hand slap. And you see this with Stern. That's what they're about. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, hi Brian, it's Ricardo from Deerfield.
Hey Ricardo, what's up?
Hey, I have a question for you. You was talking a little bit about the vaccines and the segregation and stuff like that. But as far as I remember in the past, when you want to enroll a child to the school, they have like what they call a yellow form here that you have to make sure your kid has all the vaccines?
Well, there's ways around that, okay, with special people that when we're talking about childhood vaccinations, people typically, again, I know there were some things with Jenny McCarthy which were weird things, but in the past it was religious exemptions, like Christian Scientist, and they would get a religious exemption to people that aren't vaccinated. It's a much different thing. And they're offering no way around it. They deny the exemptions.
I understand that, and I disagree with, denying any medical help for anybody. But my question to you is, don't you agree that in the past, based on you are traveling to, I don't know, another country?
Okay, you're right. Traveling for Brazil. Well, Brazil is not America. No country is as free as America. Okay, I don't know about Brazil too much, other than Brazilians seem to like it here better because they're all over the place. But you're talking about Brazilian requirements, not U.S. requirements. That's a requirement of Brazil, not the United States.
Or where you are enrolling your child to the school, whatever. I'm just saying they did have in the past rules like this vaccine is required.
Not in America. There's been a couple of isolated things that are exceptions that, but what you're talking about is another country requiring it, not our country. But hey, Maurice, I got to run for a break. But thanks for the call. All right. Hey, the rest of you on hold, stand by. Back to your calls after this break. Don't go anywhere.
The pandemic hit America. Our nation was caught off guard and unprepared.
Steve Kane Show.
The biggest problem was we didn't have enough PPE.
Hold on. Steve Kane Show.
There is a solution to this problem.
Hey, Rabbi, hold on.
This development group has formed strategic manufacturers to produce medical exam gloves and associated raw materials right here in the USA. This way, supply chain issues will never be a problem again. This project is U.S. funded, owned, and managed. Best of all, it's without reliance on the foreign supply chain. Investing in this critical infrastructure is important to the safety and defense of America. Now, here's where you come in. If you're an entrepreneur, venture capitalist, or high net worth individual interested in this investment opportunity, contact Small Business Development Group at 919 area code 654-6870. 919 area code 654-6870. Learn more about this incredible opportunity. 919-654-6870.
Small Business Development Group is a publicly traded company. Stock symbol SBDG. Online at c2cpic.com. Find strategic manufacturers online at strategicmanufacturers.com. Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the morning gold and precious metals report. William Youngerman, good morning. How are the metals looking today?
Looking good. Very stable and at our new high levels. Gold yesterday getting up to $1,848 before closing up 9 cents at $1,839.40. Silver got up to $24.77 an ounce and closed at $24.45. That was up 32 cents. Platinum gained another $16 at $1,042, and palladium was up $63 at $2,007. A lot going on with the platinum and palladium metals group as South African labor concerns and problems are pushing these metals much higher. This morning we got gold up another 60 cents right now at $1,840. Silver's up 5 cents at $24.50 the ounce. Platinum is down $2 at $1,040, and palladium is up another $27 at $2,034. Bitcoin, by the way, is down 10% today, about at $38,500. That's a wonderful investment for those people who were thinking that Bitcoin was going to take the place of gold. It's down 50% from what it was just a couple of months ago.
Oh.
I wouldn't call that a great source or store of value or security for your money. Gold has stood the test of 5,000 years of preserving wealth, and we believe that role has not changed one bit.
Yeah, and that Bitcoin, you can't put those two gold coins you put together and put next to your ear. You can hold in your hand. Bitcoin, it was like $67,000 Bitcoin not that long ago. Now, listen, can you tell people, a lot of what we're talking about like today is gold, silver, bullion, the coins, the bars, etc. But you also work with people that are collectors of coins and old money. Can you talk a little bit how you can help people that are both in the collection of coins and of old money, how you can help and how you work with them?
Certainly. For over 50 years, we've dealt with collectors buying and selling rare coins. We've sold coins even over $1 million. And so the rarities out there are very popular right now and have been. The opportunities to build wonderful collections are there and have been excellent investments over the years. And we build beautiful collections of gold coins of the world, U.S. gold coins, all kinds of coins, as well as paper money. In fact, we not only do this, but we believe in it ourselves. As you know, we have a museum at hometowncurrency.org of the largest collection of Florida paper money since our inception, and everything that talks about Florida, the entire history of Florida in the collectibles form is on our museum site. So if you're interested in doing something like that or building a collection, or that's something wonderful you can enjoy owning and pass down for generations, we're happy to work with collectors and investors.
And if you have coins or old money, you do appraisals, William Youngerman, right?
You cash on the spot.
Do people call you sometimes and that you work with that are in the collecting end of things, and they're looking for specific coins and things that they're trying to add to their collection? Do people do that and you help them find what they're looking for?
Absolutely, yeah, and we are connected to all of the major numismatic networks around the world, so that makes it easy for us to find out, and we always are monitoring these things so we know what's available, what's out there, and how to find those rare coins that you're looking for.
Yeah. Listen, William Youngerman, they open up weekdays at 10, and when you stop in, it's a museum in itself. There's just a beautiful display case under the counter that just is amazing to look at. The address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. You can find them online at williamyoungerman.com or give them a call after 10 a.m. weekdays at 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, have a great weekend. We'll talk on Monday.
Thank you, Don.
All right, take care. All right, let's go back to our phones. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's 8 before 9. We have time for some calls, so let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Rabbi David.
Oh, hey, Rabbi David. Welcome.
Yeah, so I used to be a big fan of Stern's, like everybody, but I'll tell you this: what if Stern was denied health insurance for going to a psychologist for the last 50 years, and for his family's psychology treatment and therapy because he dumped his wife and 3 children? Why don't we, if it was,
That's true. Yeah.
You're responsible for what you've done to your family. I mean, where does it end? So that was it.
Well, when Stern first started talking about it, I thought it was just a publicity stunt. But I've heard him, and it's in his bones. First off, he's terrified. Okay, he's terrified. The way he's doing his show this last year shows he's terrified. But to hear someone, in particular a Jew rabbi, talk about denying basic health care and social services to people based on any status is disturbing.
Let me tell you, the Jew and a guy who spent his whole life fighting the government who wanted to regulate him, and we all had to stand up to his rights of whatever nonsense he wanted to do on the radio, which was fine. All of a sudden, he wants the government to step in and take over. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's because of his germophobic mentality, his liberal mentality, his New York mentality, whatever is going on. By the way, I sound a little scratchy because I'm fighting off my second bout of COVID.
Oh my goodness, you got it a second time, Rabbi?
But they think it's the Omicron. I mean, they don't tell you what it is. But everybody's got the Omicron now, which they say, my doctor said that the Regeneron, you don't need it for the sepsis. For the Omicron, they said you just fight it out, liquids, the whole bit, and those.
Well, everybody let your own doctor decide how you combat Omicron. We're not going to give medical advice. But I'll tell you, everyone I've known with Omicron, we talked about Steve, we're talking about you, Steve didn't go to the hospital or do any of that with his Omicron, with his COVID. Yeah.
Right. The same thing with me. Again, this is what my doc told me. But it was a different deal than the first one. That's all I'm saying.
So it's easier this time.
You know, it's a little longer this time, but I didn't need any treatment. You know, that's the difference. It's a little longer. Okay, but
it's not as scary. The first time you were probably scared.
Scared out of my mind. Yeah.
You know, I've lost 4 people I know have died of COVID this year, and I was talking about that. You know, the thing. So I don't mess around with it. You know, and that's why we talk about testing at Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Coral Springs, and you know, the thing about it though, the people that I've known, except for one that had COVID, they were dead before we knew they had COVID. You don't get it. It's really they gets it. They you don't. It's awful. I mean, death is always awful, but the COVID deaths, people are dying that had a lot of life ahead of them.
Right. I still think they don't know a lot about this whole thing. Of course, maybe one day we will. But from what I see is that the Omicron, whatever's happening now, I hope and I pray it will be what some are saying, that it's going to be the end of it all, because it'll be like the flu and it'll just have this effect that now everybody will kind of be immune and go on, and that's my blessing and prayer for them.
That's what I'm hoping. Hey, Rabbi David, take care, be well, and beat that COVID. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Steve from Boca, Brian.
Hey, Steve.
Okay. I'm leading up to something. I just want to give you a quick little background quickly. They're taking One American News off the air.
Correct. Off of DirecTV.
Yeah, off DirecTV. Mike Lindell they're trying to debank Mike Lindell.
Correct.
One thing that really concerns me, and I'm curious to hear what you think. I believe that it's only a matter of time before more and more conservative radio shows like yours, they're going to say it's misinformation, you all off the air.
No, okay. I wish you would have called earlier, because we're up towards the end of the show, so I would very much like to talk about this in more detail with calls. So, but don't call me on Monday and say, you told me to call back and do the same thing over again. But if something comes up next week, call about it, we'll talk about it. Here's the thing. One American News is obviously being taken off of DirecTV due to politics. The majority owner of DirecTV, where Eric Bolling said Monday on Newsmax, 90% of the revenue and audience of One American News is from DirecTV. AT&T is the parent company. They own most of DirecTV. The chairman of the board of AT&T is not only a Democrat, he was on the FCC commission as an appointee of President Clinton, and President Obama made him the ambassador to the European Union. So that is a very specific, hardcore, senior-level Democrat targeting them personally. It's personal. The thing with the bank and Mike Lindell from MyPillow, that's one that's even more. It's not the bank that he does MyPillow with. It's the bank that he does Frank Speech, his recovery charity, and some other things. Mike Lindell last Friday sent me, and others like me, a recording of the phone call between the bank vice president and his comptroller. And the comptroller said that we don't want the FBI sniffing around the bank. And he's being called by the January 6th committee. So there's something else. There's something that's such a strange thing to say on a public phone call. A banker talking to a customer. So these two incidents are both god awful and bad. The first one is definitely political, but there's other things in play other than what you're saying. But I'm out of time, unfortunately. Okay, but I want to talk about. We'll talk next week. I don't even have time to say goodbye. See you Monday.
Covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Yeah, they cut me off at the end at the radio station. I went 10 seconds too long. I was looking at the clock, so I didn't even get to finish. Hey guys, listen, thanks for watching. Has everyone liked the video? Don't go without liking the video. If you're new here, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I uploaded a new podcast last night with my wife, Kathy. So check that out if you haven't. I got to take off, but I'll see you soon, all right? Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Ken. Appreciate that. Take care.